Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
This week, in Fletcher, Vermont, a very controlling man is full of jealousy and rage and knows how to express these emotions with cold-blooded murder. Turns out he likes it so much, he does it more than once. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another insane, wild edition of Small Town Murder. And they've been very crazy lately. Last week, I don't even know what to say. The hands painted blue guy, Olivia Newton-John, Xanadu obsession. How do you top that?
Lot. Yeah.
We have weirdness to top that, don't worry. Before we do that, though, really, really quick, shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets right now to live shows. They added a show in Seattle on the Thursday, right before the Friday show, and they added an extra show Saturday night in Portland as well. Right. Those shows, like in Portland, there'll be 2 different shows. In Seattle, 2 different shows. So feel free to go to both, as people have want to do. So do that. Cleveland is February 10th, kicking it off. Get your tickets. We are excited. We cannot wait. We will see you there. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of your bonus materials. There's so much bonus material, too. We have a ton of it for anybody $5 a month or above. You get the whole back catalog of bonus stuff. It's over 150 episodes, and you're going to get 2 new episodes every other week. 1 crime and sports, 1 small town murder. You get access to it all. This week for Crime and Sports, quickly, we are going to talk about fantasy sports and how it went from like 4 guys in a smoky room to the main cause of divorce in America today. So we'll figure that out. And then for small town murder, we're going to talk about Kai the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker.
Fucking yes.
Who, before, when I did this, said we were going to do this episode, I didn't know there was a Netflix documentary about him.
Yeah,
that's the
came
thing.
out like 2 days later.
That was weird as shit. I didn't even know it was coming. So we'll talk about him, and it's a lot of crazy. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that stuff and more. Shout out at the end of the show where Jimmie messes your name up. Oh, it's so much fun. That said, disclaimer time. This is a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's a comedy show. We're comedians. There will be jokes and there will be murder based on the title, which is pretty obvious. So we're going to make fun of small towns because you know why? Everybody's from somewhere small and crappy. Most of us are from somewhere like that.
It's all a mess.
If you've heard the Fishkill, New York episode, you'll see that I am more ruthless with anything that I know more than anything else. So, lighten up about small town stuff. We're just joking around. And we're also going to make fun of murderers because, you know what? Why not? Who deserves a little mockery more than murderers? So we're going to do that. What we don't do, though, we go out of our way to avoid is we try not to make fun of the victim, obviously, or the victim's family because, we're assholes.
Right.
But we're not scumbags. That's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, do we have a wild story for you. If you think true crime and comedy never, ever, never, ever, never should go together, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Your life is probably... Listen to someone say, and then her head was removed and buried behind the woodshed. That's more boring, I think, and a little creepier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it feels weird.
It's a little better to loosen up and try to take it with a little bit of a sense of humor. Yeah. And that said, to do that, I think we should all sit back. I think we should clear the lungs. I don't care where you are. That's right. Let's say right now you're about to go in for like a meeting at work with your boss. Get right up on the conference table, stand there, punch the ceiling fan and say, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmie. Shall we? Let's go on a trip.
I was expecting you to say something about a colonoscopy or something. Stand up on the table with your ass out.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah. Sway that tube around like a tail and fucking shout, shut up and give me murder. I don't care if you're giving a colonoscopy. How'd you like to...
I meant like before.
No. I'm talking during. In the middle of
it.
While they're feeding it in there. I don't care if you're giving a colonoscopy. Feed in 3 feet of tube and then shout, shut up and give me murder. And see the look on the person's face.
Swing that tube like a lasso, Doc.
Come on over here. Let's go on a trip, Jimmie. What do you say? Yeah. Wag your tail, everybody.
Feels good.
Let's do this. Okay. We're going to Vermont.
Hey!
Oh, it's pretty up there.
This is
very pretty. This is northwestern Vermont, close to Canada. I mean, it's on
way up there.
The county it's in borders the Canadian border. This is a place where to party, people go to Montreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the closest city to go party at. Either that or it'd be like a couple hours to Albany, which is...
But it's rad up there, right?
Oh, it's...
Montreal? It's so great,
It's cool.
Right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's very French, though. You have to account for the Frenchness of it all. So, I don't know.
Canadian's hot, though. I like it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, there's a bit... I think there's a bit of an attitude...
A little poo-poo, the Americans.
And maybe if you came from like the woods of rural Vermont and you're in there to party tonight with your flannel shirt and your suspenders on, they'll probably be like, I don't know. I don't like these people in our city.
Please go back stateside.
Please go back to how you say hole where you crawl out of. Yes. Thank you very much.
Go back, find rock. I don't know.
I don't know. Rock to crawl under with your ancestor. I don't know. Crawl back into ocean like 2 generations ago came out with you. Something like that. I'm not sure.
You were taking break from cave painting.
Would you like to buy baguette now?
Baguette and cigarette?
Baguette I have for you. It's a baguette with a cigarette in. You eat it through the baguette, and then you come to cigarette at the end. It's right there. Last bite includes cigarette. You smoke the rest. It's very good.
Cigarette at the end of meal.
It's very good. We put right in bread now. It's very good. So this is Fletcher, Vermont, like I said, northwestern, up by Canada. Right away, the town website The banner on here, you expect a slogan or beautiful.
Grab me, yeah.
Grab me, pull me in. Well, they're trying to grab you and pull you in because they said large letters, zoning administrator job opening.
Oh, hey.
Town of Fletcher's looking for a part-time person to perform duties as zoning administrator for the town. Training may be available. We don't know, though. We're not sure what we have for you.
We got a 20-hour-a-week job for you.
So come on in, everybody. That's what they're trying to do here.
That's fantastic.
Now, the weird thing about Vermont is Vermont tried to be its own country. They're the Texas of the North.
Stop it.
Yes. In 1783, after the signing of the Treaty of Paris, that ended the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
No, that's World War. That's World War I, the Versailles Treaty. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah. No, this is.
I won't interrupt in this anymore.
You knew Versailles was in France. That's good.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm happy. You got it. It's a war that ended with a Paris Treaty. So, you know what? A lot of them end there. That makes sense. So,
my history lessons are mostly learned at a bar top with lots of alcohol involved. People say interesting things. I go, oh, that's fascinating. And then I drink away those brain cells.
And also, they were drunk and half of the shit they said probably wasn't true also. So it's probably good.
I probably just nailed what they said.
Yeah, perfectly. That ended the Revolutionary War, the Treaty of Versailles.
That makes sense to me. Another Corona, no lime.
That's right. So this made Great Britain recognize the independence of the United States. And for something very dry here, let's bring back the Sahara Desert fart fact of the week, the driest, most arid fact there is that really is not entertaining at all. Article 2 of the treaty agreed on boundaries between the U.S. and British possessions to the north and included Vermont within the U.S. Vermont's border with Quebec was established at that point, but Vermont's government continued to take the position that it was independent of both the United States and Britain.
Oh.
And remained so until 1791. So for an 8-year period there, Vermont was, they said they were their own country, basically, which is.
And Quebec acknowledged it.
Yeah, they were like, sure, why not? We don't give a shit. So
fascinating.
There you go. So there's some things going on here. I found Jesus Christ, I found like a historical like a retelling, some of these like old memoirs here, and this is interesting. This is 1855. Okay. We're talking about here. Two people that came here. Two men named Jefferson Fulton and Abel Chase were living on the east side of Metcalf Pond on adjoining farms and had difficulty about their lot line. They had a property dispute.
Okay.
Yeah. Which finally grew into an open quarrel. They hated each other. And on September 5th, 1855, Jefferson Fulton got a pint of rum and a butcher knife, drank the rum, and went to the premises of Abel Chase, who was with his son, who was 10 years old.
Settled the dispute.
This guy was making a fence with his kid here, on the disputed property line. Within a few yards here, he says, well, old Jeff, time has come or whatever. And so he ends up attacking. He figures he's going to attack him there. So what ends up happening here is when Jefferson Fulton, the guy who was coming over to attack, had approached within reach, he pulled his butcher knife out and stabbed the other guy in the chest. And this guy turned to run. But as he ran, the guy fucking stabbed him in the back, too. So this pierced his aorta, and then he also then chased the boy here as well. But the boy ended up getting away, and he had to go back to make sure the guy he was after was dead. So he kicked him a few times, and that was that. That was like the first murder in the area.
And he won the property dispute.
I think he was the winner of that property dispute. Now it's a dispute with a 10-year-old, so I don't know how that works.
I think they're a little more amenable.
And then during the Spanish flu of 1918 and 1920 here, they can't figure out why Fletcher did not get affected by the flu. It makes no sense. There was 7 so-called escape communities that were out. Fletcher it's rural, it's remote, and there's 7 of these communities they studied that were like that, and Fletcher was the only one that didn't still get ravaged by it.
Wow.
It's really fucking weird. And they didn't have like any precautions either. They just didn't spread there for some reason. So then they said that Fletcher also had the fewest cases of COVID in Vermont as well. So
Is that right?
I don't know what it is about the water there, the air.
Viruses don't survive.
Something in Fletcher, it's so weird. It just doesn't spread there. Things don't spread. It's very weird.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. This county was named after, it's in Franklin County, named after Benjamin Franklin, of course, here as well. Here's some reviews of the town. What do you say here? Let's do this. Reviews, which, by the way, will be the subject of our new show, Your Stupid Opinions.
Hey!
Which is a show where we do reviews, but not small town reviews, just reviews of anything. We want to hear, the internet is all reviews, and we want to hear people complain about things that are really not worthy of complaining about. So we'll do a couple of these from a restaurant here this week, in town. Here is 3 stars for Fletcher. There are not many job opportunities, and most of them would not allow you to have an affordable income. Yeah, the part-time zoning thing.
You're not allowed.
That's why I put that thing here. You're not allowed to make a living. Here's 4 stars. They like it. Yeah. Smuggler's Notch is a local business, and it's very nice. So
Smuggler's Knot?
Smuggler's Notch.
Oh, that's different.
Smuggler's Knot.
That's like an asshole, right?
Yeah, I think so. Smuggler's Balloon Knot. Hey,
stick it right in your Smuggler's Knot.
Smuggler's Balloon Knot. Come on in, everybody. It's delicious.
I really thought that's what you said. I was so grossed out.
That would have been great. Here is 3 stars. There are not many places to eat, and there's only one bar. The restaurants are not open late. That's not terrific.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So that's the only reviews I could find of the town because it's a very small town. But here is a review of the 158 Main Restaurant and Bakery in Fletcher, okay?
158. What is that? There's a zip code?
Probably their address. 15. I bet it's 158 Main Street.
Got it. Okay.
I bet that's what it is. So now keep in mind, this is on Yelp. There's 205 reviews of this place, and they have a 4-star Yelp rating. So just to be fair. So I'm going to give you a 5-star to set the table. And then go from there. So here's 5 stars from Linda G. in Massachusetts. She says, whenever we go to the area, we go to 158 Main. The blueberry pancakes were so incredible and just huge. 3 big pancakes.
Jesus, 3 of them.
She's really excited about very small things. 3 big pancakes. Really, Susie? What else did they have? Were there ponies to ride? Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you this, though. Vermont does love breakfast. They do. Are so good at it.
They are. Because they have syrup.
Yeah, great point.
It's a syrup town.
Best breakfast I ever had was there. Go on.
Fuck yeah. Great for leftovers. Don't eat leftover pancakes.
Ew.
Once they're over, they're over.
Dare
with a pancake. Yeah. It's already got
10
syrup
minutes
in
after
it.
they're done, they're over.
30 seconds after they're done, they're over. You have to just eat them right off the griddle for the pancake to be edible. The Eggs Benedict were just perfect with quite a sense of lemon to them. Everything was so good. We also got 12 cookies and 2 loaves of bread to take home. Yum.
What's with the numbers?
Yum. She's very specific. She wants you to know details so she knows she's not lying. Highly recommended, and be sure to make reservations. Well then, this place sounds spectacular, doesn't it? Yeah. 3 big pancakes. I'm sold.
Did anybody not have a great time, James?
Well, Erica W. from Vermont, from Fairfax, nearby Vermont, didn't like it very much at all. She gave it 1 star.
Yeah.
Here, quote, never been able to eat anything there. With a frowny face, :frowny face. So not good. Gave it 3 tries. ... 6. So double the ellipses. Whoa. Ellipses squared. No good.
Oh,
no good.
She thought for 6 ellipses and hit us with 2 words?
Gave it 3 tries. No good. That's what she did.
That's a terrible review.
It's not good.
She could certainly elaborate with 1 star.
Holy shit. First, it was a Philly cheesesteak that was so covered in cheese that I couldn't see the meat.
Oh.
That sounds awesome.
That's the best Philly cheesesteak I've ever heard of.
I've never heard not enough cheese, too much cheese. Take some off, you fucking complaining twat. What are you talking about? When I picked it up, it was so soggy. That I don't care for.
That's a problem.
Have a stiff bread. I had to
your wet meat.
Yeah, I had to ask for another bun, and the fries are not hand cut. I'm sorry.
We'll not have it. anything to do with these machine-cut fucking potatoes.
Well, ... I dislike that.
Okay, evidently.
She was going to say no good, but she's like, oh, I already said that.
Already burned it.
Damn it. Next, I got breakfast. You think you can't go wrong on breakfast. ...
Yeah.
4 dots now.
Very inconsistent with the ellipses.
That's what I like about it. That's why I'm pointing it out. Not true. My pancakes were raw. And I say raw because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation points on raw.
She's furious.
Raw, just to liquid. They just poured They poured it in my water glass and walked away.
A glass of pancakes.
A glass of pancake. No good. And I waited so long I had to take it to go because I was going to be late for work. One waitress is ridiculous, spelled completely wrong. Ridiculous.
With an E.
Rediculus. No, no, and no. ... No good. She's not even nice either, and another frowny face. That's how she closes it out.
You think one person waiting on an entire restaurant is going to be fucking happy about this? She might be a little bitchy.
That's what I'm saying. So you get differing opinions is what we're getting at here. So give it a shot. Sounds like the pancakes are to die for. I don't know. People,
if you like them wet.
If you like a wet pancake. People in this town, 1,348. It's a small town.
Tiny.
And there are some remote properties, as one of our people in our story this week is from like the middle of nowhere.
Really?
It's pretty much average with male and female. Median age is a little bit higher than normal. It's 43 years old. More married, 66% married. It's usually 50-50.
That's the thing about this area of the country. It takes a lot of money to live up there, right?
Well, I think you need help on the property. If you have a big property, yeah. I think you need someone to get
make less work.
Hit the maple taps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of taps to get to. I don't know how you're going to do it. There is so yeah, it's 2.1% single with no children. So it's not a party town at all. So there's one bar, so that tells you a lot. Race of this town, 98.6% white. Oh. That is it's Vermont though. If you've ever been to Vermont, you don't go, wow, I bet the Mexican food is great here. It's not something that's said a lot in Vermont, right? You go, 3 big pancakes. That's what you say in Vermont, and you're fine with that. But
you've never said, I'll bet December is teeming with tamales.
No, tamale month. So 0.0% black, 0.2% Asian, and then 1.2% 2 or more races. 0.0% Hispanic.
It's incredibly Vermont.
That is very Vermont and almost Canadian. So 43.5% of the people here are religious, and the far and away runaway of highest religion is Catholic, because as we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the North. They are there. Last election in this county, 52.7% of the people voted Democratic, 43.6% voted Republican, 3.7% independent, because Vermont rolls that way, so independent-wise. Low unemployment rate here. I don't know if you're a lot of taps to tend, you know?
Sure,
I guess that's what it is. Median household income here, too, $84,500.
That's Vermont, man. It's amazing how they do
That's a lot high. It's normally $57,000, so that's wow.
They're figuring it.
Cost of living, usually $100, and it's average. Here it's $105. It's not even that bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Housing is a 93 out of 100. Median home cost.
Get out of here.
$272,200 here.
I'm moving.
I've
had enough.
I've had enough. I've eaten enough Mexican food for one lifetime. I'm done. So if we've convinced you, as we have Jimmie, let's show him around. We have for you, and of course for Jimmie, the Fletcher, Vermont Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is expensive, actually. It's $1,514, which is above the national average, but I don't know how available that is. So now I have two properties in Fletcher and one in Cambridge, which is right next door. Fletcher, here's one, 2.13 acres. Of land. There's a bunch of adjoining lots for sale. Seems like somebody owned a big swath of property and now they're breaking it up.
Somebody died and their family's getting rid of this shit.
That's what it is. The bunch of them are for sale too, of different varying sizes. This one's $65,000 for
2 acres.
2 acres plus of nice. It's nice. It's pretty. Very nice. Here's another one in Fletcher, 41.41 acres. So 41.41 acres. Yeah. It's pretty. There's nothing around. And they said the soil has been checked, so it's good to build on. They did all that shit, so you can ready to do a subdevelopment or whatever you want to do. $269,000 for that. It's pretty,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did you say 41 acres?
41, almost 41 and a half acres.
For less than $300,000.
Yep, it's pretty beautiful.
You can't buy 1 acre in Arizona for that price.
Fuck no.
That is amazing.
And it would be a swath of dry dirt full of termites. This is beautiful. There's trees and hills and views
surrounded
and shit.
by a bunch of psychos.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's 6 of 1, really, if you think about Arizona. So. Now, here's a house in Cambridge nearby, 5-bedroom, 1-bath, so that's rough. It's built in 1851, this house. It's old. 4.5 acres you're on, very pretty land. The house is rough. It looks like it was last remodeled and redecorated in, I shit you not, 1957. It looks like Beaver Cleaver's house and hasn't been touched since. I'm talking the kitchen, the wallpaper. The wallpaper in this one room is clearly like a child's wallpaper from the 50s. It's creepy as fuck. It's not dirty. The place isn't run down or dirty. It's just old. Grandma finally croaked. So this is Grandma Croaked special of the week here. $260,000 for this thing.
This is unbelievable.
That's a great value. That's not
What
bad.
are the pizza delivery options?
Right? That's where you're going to falter, I think. I don't think 158 Main delivers.
I don't think 1,700 people demands high pizza traffic.
Nope, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. So
I'm going to struggle.
We're going to struggle. Things to do here. Mm-hmm. The Vermont Maple Festival is nearby, of course. Yeah. Several things here. The Vermont Maple Festival Youth Talent Show. You have there. The show awards over $2,000 in scholarships. So,
wait, what?
It's like Miss American Teen Princess from Drop Dead Gorgeous. You won a $150 scholarship to, Miss Katie's beauty school. Oh, thanks.
$2,000 in scholarships dispersed amongst
the group. The Maple Ambassador Contest.
Okay.
This is
what the fuck is that?
There's a boy and a girl, they're teenagers, and they have sashes on, and she's holding roses. So I don't know if it's part beauty contest, but it says you have the honor, responsibility, and fun of representing the Green Mountain State's signature product during their reigning year. Yeah, okay. So you're just the maple ambassador. There's a maple syrup.
Maple candy.
Yeah. There's a maple syrup contest. The winners of this contest, you know what you get for winning?
Maple syrup.
You're recognized as being the best of Vermont. That's it. That's it.
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights only. There's bands, too, of course. Got to have bands.
Oh, boy.
Joshua Glass and Adriana Chobot have a piano duel with drummer Andrew Bedard. So if they have Bedard, I'll be there. I mean, I didn't know Bedard was coming, so... Holy shit. The Phil Abair Band featuring Keegan Nolan. Holy.
What happened to Phil?
Keegan Nolan's going to be there? And Andrew Bedard? Jimmy.
Somebody guessed.
Please move there. Let me stay in your house. The Young Tradition Fiddleheads. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Hopefully old enough to...
Fiddle-playing children?
Old enough to insult them afterwards when their show's terrible, I hope. Then there's Morgan Miles. They seem very proud of her. They have a whole thing. She's on Rolling Stone and Billboard, this and that.
Never heard of her.
Some mid-40s frosted-haired country lady.
Yeah.
That's all of them. I know.
All
That's what yep.
Morgan Miles.
Yep. It sounds like if you made up a movie, if you're writing a script and you're like, we need a country. So how about Morgan Miles? Yeah, make her a mid-40s blonde frosty lady. Yeah.
Also sounds like somebody you search on Pornhub.
Yeah. Morgan Miles. Here she's got a fat ass. Let's look at Morgan Miles.
She takes miles of it.
Miles and miles. And then finally, to close it out, Rockin' Ron the Friendly Pirate.
Great.
Oh, boy. A family fun time with Rockin' Ron singing friendly tunes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yikes. Crime rate in this town, besides Rockin' Ron's performance.
This time, Ron, you've taken enough.
When you see him, too, you go, he's been kicked while he's down. Bastard. He's been kicked while he's down. Remember the Wiggles? Your kids were in that range of mine.
Yeah.
Remember they had the pirate and the Wiggles?
Yeah.
That's who he looks. He's like dressed like Captain Feathersword or whatever his name was.
Poor bastard.
And he's like, he's got a big smile on his face, and he's like, my wife hasn't had sex with me in 3 years. That's the look.
If he doesn't laugh, he'll cry.
If he does, yeah. Huh?
The smile hides the frown for sure.
Holding a plastic hook thing on his hand. Huh? What do you think, everybody?
In his Party City costume. Poor bastard.
That's what it really just looks very Party City. Party City pirate here. Crime rate in this town, property crime, is about 1/3 below the national average. Okay. So, and then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 2/3 under the average. So, safe as fuck.
Wouldn't it be amazing if everybody could just make a little bit of money and have cheap shit? That's what this is. You know what I mean? Be able to afford your life, and guess what you don't do?
Wouldn't it be great if economics weren't like things weren't like
economics
the way they were?
Everybody's favor.
Hey, everybody, let's just all agree to this, okay?
We all have money and everything costs nothing.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, look at everybody smiling. Sure, we have nobody to make it because they have so much money they don't want to work there, but don't care. Works good. But hey, that would be great. Yeah, this is
what happens.
You
just get a nice place.
Utopia.
Yeah,
sits around
fucking Party City pirate.
And you just sit around judging each other's maple syrup. That's life. That said, let's talk about a murder, shall we?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. More than one.
Didn't favor everybody.
That did not favor everybody. Yeah. You have one guy who's definitely out for himself here, and two people. It's two murders here, separate incidents. This is fucking crazy, man. Holy shit. So let's get started. Let's talk about Gerald Max Ryan. First of all, he is born in May of 1943. He's a born and raised Vermont guy. Is that a Vermonter?
Vermontonian?
Vermontonian. You never know, because a lot of times the states, you're like, really? That's how they want it to be?
That's what you want to be?
Maine, they're called Mainer. They call themselves Mainers, and you're like, you're going with Mainer, huh? By choice? Okay, I'll call you that if that's what you're looking for. Sure. So, he's born in 43. His parents are Alfred and Arlene Ryan, and they name him Gerald Max. He grows up around this area, and boy, is he a colorful character, as we'll get into. Doesn't seem to really work as a steady job here. We're going to catch up with him in about 1973. And
still no
30 years old. No, but he's got like a trailer with like other trailers behind it. It's a fucking mess, this situation. He lives in a rural area, like his brother has a trailer that's like kind of connected to his trailer, but it's a really weird setup. He marries a woman named Shirley, and he's going to have a whole bunch of kids. We won't even get it because this guy is like, he looks like Jim Jones. He just reminds me of Jim Jones. He looks just like him, and the way he acts is sort of like Jim Jones without being a pastor, or like without the cult leadership. But
just criminal.
He can get people to do things that he wants. He's very manipulative, and he spreads his seed prodigiously. Like he's
not
always,
just Shirley?
Oh God, he's always fucking other people. Like always, he has kids with tons of people. He's a total dirtbag when it comes to that.
Lord.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So he's got his wife, Shirley. She finally has enough and divorces him in 1970.
Okay, yeah.
But doesn't get out of his web, though.
Huh?
He keeps everybody in his web. It's weird. He'll have, like, at one point in this story, he's hanging out with his ex-wife while he's still married to his new wife, and he's got his new girlfriend there as well.
Wow.
He's got like this, like a third generation of woman he's banging.
How do you do that?
I don't know. That's what I mean. You have to be a manipulative son of a bitch to be able to pull off the shit he does. Very Jim Jones-like.
Yeah. First, you got to want it.
Yes.
I don't want to be around three people who I've been inside.
That's the other thing. First, this has to be like preferable to you.
Yeah.
First, so you have to be mentally ill to begin with here to want this, and then on top of that, to pull it off. Actually,
figure it out. Yeah.
Like later on, they'll compare Gerald Max Ryan. A psychologist will compare him to, quote, Charles Manson or Hitler.
Oh,
Hitler.
Boy.
If you're getting Hitler as like, as a fucking, if you like, you may also like. If your may also likes are Manson and Hitler, like that's a, wow.
Yeah.
That's eye-opening.
Bought this also bought.
Yeah, that's fucking eye-opening, isn't it? It really is. And they don't say Jim Jones because this happens in the 70s before Jonestown. Yeah. So 10 years later, they would have absolutely called him Jim Jones because of the way he acts and everything.
Yeah.
Just not trying to make it tax exempt is the only difference, and not involving religion. So he divorces her in 1970. She divorces him due to his constant adulterous behavior, she said. Sure. Constantly fucking other people. Wow. And so he marries a new woman very quickly. Kathy. So he marries Kathy almost immediately, and he's married to her, and that will fall apart too because of his constant philandering. So he will not stay with one. He can't keep his dick out of the wrong maple tap. We'll just put it that way. It's wrong tree every time. Yeah. So I thought this was my tree. So he has a friend of his too named Howard Brooks. And Brooks was used to be an employee of the Central Vermont Railway. So he's not an employee at this point in the early 70s here because Brooks apparently has a rip-roaring methamphetamine habit. Like,
is that right?
Oh, yeah, an early 70s.
Early
fucking, we're talking biker speed. This is bad shit here.
Yeah.
This will make you kidnap 3 teenage girls and take them to a fucking, a sleazy bar somewhere.
He was fired from the railroad for it?
I don't know if he was fired, just stopped showing up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
chose one over the other.
Yeah, it happened in like 1970, so I'm sure the records aren't that well kept. Right. But Howard Brooks is known as a bit of he's kind of a mess with drugs and shit like that. And he has been friends with Gerald Max Ryan here for a long time. They've known each other. Gerald also, from what we find out later, definitely dabbles in some drugs himself.
Is that right?
And that would be the only thing that would kind of make sense of his behavior is also drugs involved too. Because
that also might lure in a few extracurricular ladies outside of the marriage.
Yeah.
If you've got,
especially if you can hook them, if you can get them. That's what pimps do. You know what I mean? Right. So he's very manipulative. He would think that. He would think like, I can get her to really stay here. So
I need drugs. Guess what I've got? Also, look what else I've got. Taste this.
Look at this. So in 1973, he's married to Kathy, who they may be getting divorced soon, but they're still kind of hanging around each other. And he's divorced from Shirley, who still hangs out with him. He's got Howard Brooks, who's his friend, who in early 1973, they have a bit of a falling out because Brooks apparently was helping his ex-wife in a certain way that we'll get into here. So he also has a new girlfriend who he's pretty hot for. Not really new. He's actually been banging around with her for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
So since before he was divorced from his first wife, her name is Bonnie Lee King. Bonnie Lee King. At 1973, you know how old she is, Jimmy?
24.
19 years old.
Oh, no.
Yes. He has been hooking up with her since he was about 28 and she was about 15.
Gross.
Yeah, I would say.
That's horrific.
That is not fucking cool at all. So this is the level of rural we're talking here, though. This is like her upbringing. Later on, a psychologist will describe her upbringing as, quote, like her house, the home she grew up in, quote, one of the most isolated places in Fletcher, quote, a broken down house way off in the hills.
Yeah. Right.
It's like this little subsistence farm she grew up on in the middle of nowhere.
What happened to her out there?
It's terrible. This psychologist said that she was, quote, a natural product of an isolated home situation with a very narrow knowledge of the world. She's just literally just a farm girl, just sitting on the farm all the time, nowhere to go, lives too far to go anywhere. There's that. The psychologist described her family situation as lonely with an, quote, almost non-existent father.
Oh.
And he lived there.
Really?
That's the thing. Yeah, almost non-existent is his personality and his presence in the house, but not physically. Physically, he's there, but they said her mother was very powerful. Very domineering mother who lorded over the whole house.
Subservient father who was more like a brother.
Yeah, passive father, and she's an only child too, Bonnie. So to have someone controlling and be in their web out in the middle of nowhere like that, you're really in there. Bonnie's also a diabetic. So her mother and her father, everybody's been taking care of her, watching over her, sheltering her too. So they were afraid she'd get hurt, she'd get sick and all that kind of shit. So she's been sheltered. She was very overprotected by her mother. And everybody said that she was looked upon as, quote, somewhat fragile. Her whole family, they treated her like she was made of porcelain and would break. She's the only child. She's a little girl and she's got diabetes at a young age.
Jesus.
So
is it an insulin reliant kind?
I'm not sure about that. Yeah. That I'm unsure. But it's
probably right. It's got to be.
I mean, maybe I would think so because usually when they get it young, it's one of those things that's in your. Yeah. I can't remember. Genes. I don't remember the how diabetes breaks down into different categories, but I'm not going to make an asshole out of myself and try to make a medical diagnosis of this girl in 1973.
Make some wild accusations, James. Let's get
there. You go.
It.
You know what?
Assume
I think
away.
They stuck a needle in her ass 3 times a day, buddy, and they never let her out because she had to be home.
Freaking the shit out of her hand.
Her mom insists she had a special pillow she had to kneel on right in the middle of the living room, and her mom insisted on it. No. So she's brought up by a father who the psychologist said was, quote, very, very quiet, an almost non-existent man.
Wow.
So, Bonnie grew up in Fletcher. She went to Bellows Free Academy in Fairfax for school. And they said that they called her a product of, quote, living most of her life in a small, somewhat decrepit farmhouse a long way from anywhere.
Ew.
Yeah. Sounds like Dorothy. Like this is
or Jenny and Forrest Gump.
Fuck. She needs to pray for a concussion and to be taken away to a different place
for a couple hours.
For a couple hours just to escape, man.
Just for a vacation. Decrepit is never a good
decrepit?
word.
Decrepit? It's falling up. I have a picture of it too.
Even if it's somewhat.
Yeah, and somewhat decrepit. I have the picture of the house. It looks like, wow, what family was murdered in there, you know? And the father came out with a bloody chainsaw and sat on the porch and waited for the sheriff. Like, what? Right. That's what that house looks like.
It's been taped off for 30 years.
Yeah, and they let it go to waste, and then this family moved in with, It's really what it looks like.
Yeah.
They said that she sort of lived in a dream world for most of her life, having been brought up in a social vacuum. Yeah. She's just, if you're a kid and you're alone all the time and you have nothing even, it's not even like you're in like the city and you stare out the window and see people doing things. You're just sitting there by yourself. It's quiet.
Imagining what people do.
Yeah, you would have kind of a dream world because why not? Sit there bored. You might as well have a dream world. They said that at school, she was considered clever by her teachers until about 12 or 13.
Oh.
Then they said her work began to deteriorate. And this is when social shit became more. 12 and 13 is when social stuff becomes as big a part of a student life as academics. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she wasn't jiving well with that shit. So they said that she was aloof and distant and had very, very few friends.
Oh, no.
Because she couldn't hang out with any. She wasn't allowed to do anything. She lived in the middle of nowhere, and she's diabetic. So back then, that was like, oh, we keep her wrapped in bubble wrap and put her away. Now, this is all until she meets Gerald Max Ryan when she's 15 years old.
Shit.
I don't know how they met, but this
30-year-old man.
This scumbag talked this, innocent, very innocent, in a social vacuum, quote unquote, in the middle of nowhere person. And he was her first sexual partner and what she would later call the most influential person in her life from the age of 15 on. Yep. He fucking Manson family'd her hardcore.
What the fuck?
Told her she was, smart and told her she was this and that. And these manipulators, and they'd see a farm girl like this as like easy prey because they'd look and they go, if I'm caulking, where are the spots where I need to hit? Where's the empty spots? Where are the parents haven't filled on those spots? And you come in with your fucking dick caulk and you put it right in there and lay it right across and you go, there you go. No, you're pretty. No, I think you're really smart. No, you could do things on your own because whether he thinks that or not, he's going to tell her that. And then she thinks feels like an adult. And next thing you know, he's banging a 15-year-old because they're not sophisticated enough to know that he's a scumbag who's just thinking of his dick. Horrible shit. So not cool. So September 23rd, 1973 comes around. Mm-hmm. What a weird day this is. Okay. We're in Fletcher. We're at Gerald Max Ryan's trailer. Okay. Shirley is over, his ex-wife that he's been divorced for 3 years. Her and her boyfriend, Edward Daignault, are both there.
No.
She's over there hanging out, which I'm like, what? No. They're hanging out at his trailer. They hung out there from about 3 till 5:30 in the afternoon. They didn't just stop by. They stopped
2.5 hours.
That's a visit, man. You could watch a fucking NASCAR race in that amount of time. That's a visit.
That's a whole football game for sure.
That's what I was just thinking up there. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No, I don't think so either. Well, there's the rural areas in the north are into racing, but not NASCAR racing. They're into different kinds of racing. They're into like
midget racing or
mud and shit like that. Yeah, there's a lot of racetracks around.
Yeah. Snowmobiles.
And, up here it would be snowmobiles. They have the moose off, they call it, where you kill a moose and mount an engine in it. It's a big boat engine, and everyone rides a moose and see who wins. It's pretty interesting. It's a good one. So if they do that at the Maple Festival, I didn't have time to read that part. So they're all hanging out at the trailer, which seems but there's other people there too that we'll get into. There's a bunch of people here, honestly.
It's a party, huh?
It's a party at the trailer, including my ex-wife and her boyfriend, which, no. So
is this a weekend?
I suppose it should be. I hope so.
Right. It better be.
Otherwise, none of these people have jobs because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if they're hanging out, I don't know. So
quitting time at 2, they haul ass to this guy's house.
Woohoo! Shit, get to the trailer. I need to be there. So during this time, from 3 to 5:30, Shirley, his ex-wife, says that Gerald made several calls during this time to his now estranged second wife, Kathy.
Yeah.
Who is not at the trailer, and she's actually living with who? Brooks, Howard Brooks, the one we talked about before.
His fallen out, huh?
His old friend. Yeah, she's living with Howard Brooks and Howard Brooks' girlfriend. Okay.
Oh no.
Not in a not in a polyamorous way, but like they're taking her in and, quote, protecting her and all that kind of shit. So, yeah, this was in an apartment in St. Albans, okay? Now, Shirley Ryan, who still goes by Shirley Ryan, she said she overheard Gerald ask Kathy to come to Fletcher to get their 4-month-old son, Jeremiah, who he is watching. Okay. So add him to the mix here. Add a 4-month-old, your ex-wife, your girlfriend's, your current wife's on the phone. Oh, by the way, your 19-year-old girlfriend's there also.
Oh, Jesus, what a day.
Everybody's there. It's a lot. Gerald had brought Jeremiah back with him from Kathy's sister's house in Dalton. So picked him up several days ago. So he's had the kid for several days, and he's asking her, can you come get the kid?
Wants a break.
Yeah, there we go. I need to find more teenage girls to have sex with. So asked Kathy also to bring with her, bring Howard Brooks with you and Ronald Rich, who at the time owned a camp in St. Albans Bay. So she's like, why? And he's like, just bring him with. Yeah. So following these phone calls, Shirley said that her former husband appeared quite upset, all agitated and walking around and kind of his social skills went out the window. He was hanging out and everybody was kind of partying, and then all of a sudden he's in his own world and he's grunting and grumbling and groaning about shit. And she said he started making preparations for Howard's visit.
Oh,
and now
table.
Well, yeah. What are you going to set out? Maybe
chill a couple extra beers.
I was going to say it's 5:30, so maybe not coffee. Maybe throw a couple extra beers in the fridge. Maybe
Start mixing the pancake batter. He's going to stay all night.
Maybe a chip and dip situation. Do we have any salsa? Something like that we could look at.
Yeah.
Throw something together. That powdered French onion shit in the sour cream. Mix it up.
Press
whatever.
This motherfucker with my nachos.
That's all.
Until he sees this shit.
Well, he probably did all that, but afterwards, I'm not sure if he did that, but what I am sure that he did is that he loaded a 16-gauge shotgun.
What? What is this?
And placed it behind a porch door. Okay. Then, and this is fucking really wackadoo here, he takes some scissors and cuts a hole in the drapes that look out to the front porch, so he doesn't have to open the drapes to see out. He can just look through now a peephole. Yeah.
Like a painting and
I was just going to say, you'd look at that and you go, oh, it's just drapes. Oh, with an eyeball in it. That's no big deal. Why is it moving?
It's following me.
It's following me. So he cuts a hole there, and then he drilled a second eye-level hole. He got a drill out, Jimmie, power tools, and drilled a second eye-level hole inside the porch entrance. So the door.
Through the wall?
Through the wall, yeah. So now he's got 2 points of view.
Yeah.
2 peepholes. So they also, now that's all she saw. Other people that were there said that he also drilled 2 additional holes in a garage that's adjacent to the trailer where his brother Richard and another guy named Robert Sweet were hanging out in this garage. They were in there with all the loaded weapons. So that's why they saw him drilling holes in that room, because that's where they were, whereas Shirley stayed in the living room, apparently. So now at one point in the afternoon, because Bonnie King is over here as well, like we said, the young girl here, Shirley said that Gerald asked Bonnie to leave. Well, why don't you go home now? Leave the trailer. She said that at this suggestion, Bonnie started to sob uncontrollably, which is... He didn't say, get the fuck out. He's like, hey, I got to do something. Why don't you take off for a little while? And it was just tears started pouring out of her face, sobbing uncontrollably. So she's emotionally touchy, let's just say. There's a lot of...
And overreaction per the environment. But, I don't know, he's making Swiss cheese out of the house. This is fucking weird.
That's weird. So, yeah, maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure. But she said no. She was asserting she didn't want to go. I don't want to leave. I want to be here. No, don't make me leave.
Yeah,
so eventually,
that weird place.
I don't want to go back to the decrepit, desolate farmhouse. So eventually, though, he persuades her to leave because he can talk her into, you'll find out, literally anything. So,
really?
Oh yeah. Now she says, so here's who's there. It's Gerald Max Ryan. It is Shirley Ryan, his ex-wife, her boyfriend. Bonnie is there. He ends up leaving. his one brother is there, Richard, then the Sweet guy, Ronald Sweet, Rob Sweet, and then his other brother, Dennis, is there as well. Okay. So there's 3 Ryan boys, an ex-wife, a boyfriend, and another friend, and his new 19-year-old girlfriend.
Fascinating.
And he's on the phone arguing with his ex-wife and trying to get her to bring over the guy who is currently harboring her. Okay. Yeah. That's where we're at right now. Oh, and Phyllis Schoolcraft as well is there.
Why is Phyllis there?
She's, who knows? She's banging somebody, I'm sure, in this house. I don't know.
Everybody's banging everybody, or they're a brother. So
or they're,
that's what's happening.
She's not related to anybody, so I assume she's hooking up with somebody, or they're hooking up with her. I don't know.
Banging Rob or a brother.
Rob, Dennis, Rich. There's a shitload of people here. We don't know. Maybe she's the third for the other 2. I don't know. Who knows? She was at the trailer throughout most of the afternoon. They were all the original point of people being here was Ryan was pouring cement at a place in the yard.
It's a party.
So that's why he had his brothers there and the other guy, and then he invited his ex. I don't know. Maybe they were all cracking some beers after they were done.
Come over. We're pouring concrete. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a party over there. So Phyllis Schoolcraft said she heard Gerald ask his brother Richard and the Sweet guy before they left the trailer to hurry back before Rich and Howie come. Now that's Howard and the other guy that his ex-wife is supposed to be bringing over here. So around 5:30 p.m., everyone left, leaving only, this is weird, everyone leaves except for Gerald Ryan, Shirley Ryan, and her boyfriend.
Okay.
So everyone leaves. Just him and his ex and her new boyfriend are there. Which the smaller the group it is, the weirder it is.
My nightmare.
If there's 50 people there, you go, I don't know, I guess maybe it's just a social group and they all know each other.
My best friends is here. I kind of like that guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I don't want to cause any friction. Let's all get along. If there's 4 people there, or 3 in this case, 4 including the child.
Just her and him? Ugh.
No, not happening. So that's an uncomfortable sitting in the living room there. So,
nobody says it, huh? Nobody says anything about how fucked up this is.
This is weird, right? I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm uncomfortable right now.
I threw it back. You accepted that trash? All right. Okay.
All right, whatever. Hey, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So they leave. They're all there. And Shirley and her boyfriend are there. Shirley said that Gerald asked her to stay for supper, but she said no because her boyfriend said he wanted to get out of there, as I would imagine he would. Yes. Let's not spend more time at your ex-husband's trailer, please. This is
everybody left. Can we go too?
No, stay for supper. Let's all have a good time. No, let's go.
Be here at all.
That's a terrible offer to get. Yeah. Would you like to stay and we'll have dinner at my ex-husband's trailer, just the 3 of us? No, I don't want to do that.
Remember we were here and there was a bunch of people here? They all left and it's just us now?
Absolutely not. So they ended up going out to eat. This is Shirley and her husband, her boyfriend. They went out to eat at a restaurant in St. Albans, and then this is the 3 of them went out, and then her and her boyfriend went back to their St. Albans apartment at about 8:15. Okay, 8:15 p.m. She goes there. She said as soon as she got home, she received a phone call from Gerald. Oh, dude, he's just relentless.
G-Max, yeah.
Yo, G-Mac over here. She said that he said, quote, oh my God. She said, quote, hell, he says, I just shot Howie and I'm going to turn myself in.
Okay.
That's the phone call she got. She's like, pardon?
One more again.
She asked, is he hurt? Is Howard hurt? And she said, she told her, quote, this is what he said, quote, well, Howie slumped over and people from the van, which is the vehicle that he got there in, which is his estranged wife, a couple other people, there's like 4 people in there, put him in the van and took him away. So all the people from the van took him away. So Shirley said that Gerald asked her to meet him at Champlain Volkswagen, I guess a car dealership.
No.
Meet me here.
Nah.
She said, okay. Think about how manipulative and controlling he is where he can get her to do this shit even after they're fucking divorced and she has a new boyfriend for years. This is wild.
I'm going to turn myself in. Is the police station also a Volkswagen dealership? What is happening?
Yeah, are we meeting several detectives there, and I can give them my...
Is that where the chief of police has a day job? Why are we going there?
You have an office? I know it's a part-time, like the zoning administrator, but... So he said, meet me there. She said, okay. She got into his car when she got there.
Well,
He just,
there.
I just shot a guy up. So now at that point, he asked her to, this is crazy. Was asked by him to make a .22 caliber pistol, quote, disappear. He opened up the glove compartment, took out a .22 caliber pistol, and was like, I need you to make this disappear for me.
Tries to Goodfellas her.
I was just going to say, yeah, there's obviously this friends of mine who would have gotten out of there the second their boyfriend gave them a gun to hide.
But it was hot to me.
But that's how he is. So
Turn me on.
he said he's going to do that, and then he's going to go turn himself in. The police barracks are about a mile away from the car dealership.
Fascinating choice of place to meet, too, because if you're trying to be secluded and alone, a car dealership is the last place you go. Right when you pull on the property,
Everybody.
Can I help you with something?
What? What's that? Yeah, you're
Not
pulling
unless
in.
you want to hide a 22 for me.
So you should put it in some car in there. Look at that Maxima. So, or no, it's a Volkswagen. Let me take a peek at that Passat. What do you say?
Go throw this in the glove box of that Golf.
Please.
This Golf is equipped with the .22 caliber Ruger in the glove box.
Nice. I didn't realize that came with this. These are good. So he also then instructed her not to tell the police that either Bonnie or Phyllis Schoolcraft had been at his trailer earlier that day also.
Oh.
So he's got a plan of what he's going to tell the cops, and he's telling her, this is what I need from you to back that shit up.
Yeah.
Neither of them were there.
Disappear
Capiche?
this gun, and
Done.
nobody was there. Got it.
That's it. He said after he told her that, quote, after the first shot, Howard was begging, because he shot him once, and he said he was begging, but Ryan told him that he deserved it and then shot him again.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you deserve this. And shot him again.
Got him another.
So she said she agreed to get rid of the pistol, which is wild right there, and not to say anything that the two women were there either. So
And as soon as he left, she went to the police, gave him the gun, and told him the story, right?
No, she
she stuck to the word.
She went home. Later on, we'll talk to the cops. She'll say, yeah, we were there. Then we went out to dinner. Then we left. I don't know anything else about it. Nothing else. Don't know anything about any holes being drilled, any guns, anything like that. Don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why did he divorce her? She is so loyal.
She's down as fuck because he couldn't stop fucking other people. That's what I mean.
Right.
He's got someone loyal, and he's like, yeah, but she's 15, and I'm disgusting pedophile. I really need to,
Yeah.
You used to be 15 once, but now
Now you're not.
you're in your like 20s. Ew.
Ugh.
Ugh. So, oh my God, disgusting. So, she said she'd do that. Shirley, by the way, is a waitress in St. Albans that we'll find out also has a bit of a drug problem as well. She said that she'll even tell the cops that she remembers a time not too long ago when Howard Brooks threatened to kill Gerald Ryan. She'll even tell the cops that. I remember Howard threatening to kill him. Yeah, Harold's dangerous. He's a meth head, and he gets all jacked up and threatens to kill people, and he's got weapons. He carries a gun around all the time. Okay. As we'll find out, Howard had a gun on him.
Really?
He had a pistol in a holster in his back, like on his waistband in the back. He had a pistol back there, and they find that the pistol it's still holstered. The snap is still shut on it.
Oh,
which
super secure.
Which will go against what Gerald says. Gerald said he came in there about to pull his gun out, like put his hand back there, unsnap the thing, and started taking his gun out. And that's when he was like, "Oh, hey." So the bullets were fired. Both of them fired at close range. Struck Brooks in the chest, in the back, and in the right chest.
Oh.
Back and right chest here. Now, we'll talk about which shot came first, because that's important.
Yeah, because that's
big.
Incredibly important.
The medical examiner said the bullet shattered Howard's spinal cord.
Oh.
Ripped right through his spinal cord. They said that would have made him incapable of voluntary movement and that he would not have been able to stand up after this wound. He said there would be only reflex movement, if any. He said this is an instant paralyzation shot.
Shit.
Just severed his spinal cord. Done. So That's they said the one bullet hit him in the right chest and wound its way through the lower chest cavity and went through the liver and finally ended up in his right lung.
Oh, my God.
So every fucking thing it could hit on the way down is the worst luck ever. Boom. But it's worst luck ever. Just took out every organ it could get. They also said the tests show that there were heavy powder burns on the front of his clothing where the bullet struck, but there was none on the back of his clothing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What does that say? Pow,
And he
come up,
talked to him.
finish him
Yeah.
off. He said, "You
talked
deserve."
to him and shot him in the chest.
You deserve this. Looking him in the eyes.
Diabolical.
That's fucking diabolical. Yep. They had the shirt where the bullet struck there. They were asked later on if the tests proved which was the first shot, and the doctor says yes. But later on in court, he's not allowed to elaborate on that because it's just speculation technically. But he's like, it's obvious what happened, this and this and that. That's how it goes.
He was at a distance with this one, but real close with this one.
Yeah, so they're thinking that he saw him coming. He went out through the garage, came around, shot him in the back. He fell over, and then he came up and shot him right in the chest, close range. You deserve this. Pop right there. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going. Look good out there. And you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable. And you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the doctor said they did tests at the scene They said the victim, Howard here, his feet were pointed toward the front door of the trailer. Mm-hmm. And they said that witnesses testified that Gerald shot Howard, who was standing outside the trailer, from inside the front porch of his trailer. Huh. So I don't know if he was on the porch, if he snuck out to the porch and ambushed him that way, how it worked. But that's the witness report here. Now, why did he do this exactly? Well, Bonnie will tell the cops, Bonnie King, that Ryan told her that Kathy was going to divorce him on the grounds of adultery and was going to call out Miss King in court here, call out Bonnie for being the homewrecker.
Okay.
That doesn't matter at all, but to a 19-year-old girl who doesn't know any better, she thinks this is a terrible thing that's going to happen. So he's saying that, yeah, they're going to do all this. And Brooks told, I guess, Gerald tells Bonnie that Howard Brooks said that he was going to pay for this divorce. He was going to help Kathy pay for it. So Howard is facilitating this awful shit that's going to happen between us. So he frames it, though. Gerald frames it to Bonnie like he did this for her. I just did this to protect you. I didn't want you getting dragged through. He said that he did this in order to protect Howard from, quote, dragging in court of Bonnie through divorce court. Yeah. Meanwhile, this would be dragging him for fucking a 15-year-old. Right. She's a victim in that case.
Yeah.
So
she doesn't know that this is illegal.
Absolutely not. No. So he ends up turning himself in at the Vermont police substation in St. Albans right after he leaves the Volkswagen dealership. And he ends up, obviously in jail, and he's going to go through a trial and all this shit. Right. Now, his angle is self-defense.
Okay.
He went in, he said, I shot Howard Brooks in self-defense. He came to my trailer. He's armed. We've had some beef. And, thought he was going to shoot me, so I shot him right in my front yard,
Okay.
He told him in a signed statement that he shot Brooks twice with a 16-gauge shotgun. And he said both times he believed that he was reaching for the gun. Shotgun. So he shot him once, paralyzing him, and then went over and stood over him and said, you deserve this, and bucked him at close range because he was looking for a gun. Right. So when someone you think they're trying to get your gun, you go as close to them as possible to shoot them, right? You don't back up 5 feet and buck them, right?
That's how ballsy he is.
It's a gun. It's not a knife. You don't have to be on top of them for it to work properly.
Yeah.
So now 16 gauge is smaller, right? Than a 10 or a 12?
I thought the 10 gauge was the one that you give to a kid, and then the 12 is like, I've got a couple of those. Those are dangerous, man.
I'm going
16 seems like it should be.
I don't know if it's gauged like with earrings, because that's like the smaller is the bigger the hull.
Bigger, right. This is the second time I've heard you say 16 gauge in a story, and I've never heard of a 16.
Me neither until these two stories. It's been like in the last month, too.
12s and 10s. That's it.
That's it. So is there an 8 gauge? Is there a 23 gauge? Who knows? 24 gauge?
Because there's a double-aught buck. Is that fucking
What's
giant?
That? Yeah. What's that? Just fucking.
Is that the 0 gauge?
Is that like canisters flying out of there? Like.
Look, and I'm not
artillery?
a gun. I realize there's gun guy arguments about it, but look, I don't know your fucking shotguns. All right.
Well, these are more for like hunting, for actual hunting thing. You're not really a hunter. You're more of a target kind of guy.
Yeah.
So
mine's just Homeland Security. My house. That's it.
Yeah, there.
That's all I got a 12 gauge for.
Some targets. So now, and witnesses back up Gerald's statement here, saying that Brooks was armed with a small caliber pistol. But they say it was never left his holster, and the police find, like I said, it's snapped shut and strapped to his belt in the middle of his back. So, they testified.
Another question is, if you're firing shotguns at guys, why do you want a 22 to disappear?
I think it's just another gun that he had. I think he just didn't want to. He probably shouldn't have a gun, I would assume, because he's been in trouble before, as we'll find out here. Not a lot though, which is the weird part. You'd think by this time in his life he would have been in more trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his proclivity for children makes him not want to talk to cops.
Oh my God! So the one girl, the Pion is her last name, that was also there. Yeah. She said that Howard Brooks, that she knew of, was a heavy user of drugs, and on September 23rd, because she was one of the ones who came in the car. With him in the van. He was a heavy user of drugs, and on September 23rd, he happened to be, quote, crashing off a meth trip, she said. Crashing off a meth trip.
It's a fascinating choice of words.
Wow, that's mixing early 70s, like, weed and LSD, like hippie culture, with meth. That's really weird.
I've never heard anybody
meth trip
coming off a meth trip.
Yeah, he's crashing off a meth trip right now. Yeah,
you want a trip right now? I got meth. That's not
nowadays. We just say tweaking. He's just tweaking. He's starting to get real tweaky and tweaking and shit. Like he's
chewing on his molars and shit.
Mm-hmm. All tweaky like.
Yeah.
So she also said that Brooks and Ryan had been good friends, but about 6 months before, that's when the friendship ended, when his wife left and moved in with Howard and Howard's girlfriend. So he's going to be charged with murder here, first-degree murder, and he is going to plead innocent.
Oh.
Says it's self-defense. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He was shot. He said, I shot the guy. Howard was 29, shot him twice with the shotgun. And not only is it self-defense, I'd also like a reduction of this bond you want me to pay to get out. $100,000, I don't have that. How about $50,000? And so they're going to end up freeing him on a bond, $50,000 bond on a first-degree murder charge. He's allowed to go. So, that's an interesting thing here. They're going to take him to trial.
Okay.
Obviously. He's indicted, first-degree murder. He was out on bail, goes to trial, and here comes Shirley, his ex-wife, on the stand. Okay? She tells the jury that at first she lied to the police, because she did. She told them nobody else was there but me and my boyfriend.
Okay.
And then she hid the gun. By the time the trial comes around, she's like, okay, fine. I'll tell the truth because, I'm under oath here. So she said that she only did that because she was afraid of what her former husband would have done to her if she didn't do it. That's nice.
The man killed another man.
With very little provocation. Very little. So she said she withheld vital evidence to protect her ex-husband. They asked her on the stand, why would you withhold vital evidence in a murder to protect your ex-husband? She said, quote, because I thought he would stand a better chance of getting off. Trying to help him.
Yeah.
Trying to help him. That's all. So they also, in the cross-examination, they get her to concede that her statements to police were totally inconsistent with her testimony now, because they were. Right. So if you were lying then, who says you're not lying now?
Your credibility is fucked, love.
It gets worse, too, as the trial goes on. We'll talk about that.
Does she know what shotguns are or not?
She probably does, but she also knows what meth pipes are, so that's a problem.
You know what? 20 gauges are the little ones, so yes, by the way.
Okay, there you go. So it's reverse.
Just hit me right now. 20 gauge, yes. So
okay.
Stop your tweeting. Knock it off.
Yeah, we
Put
get
your
it.
Guns away.
They were loading them and cleaning them. I'll tell these boys something. They said to her, quote, one of these situations one of these statements was a lie. And she said, yes, it was. But now I'm telling the truth.
Which one?
So Gerald testifies here. He has to take the witness stand in his own defense because you got to explain this away.
Yeah.
You really do.
He's going to tell his story.
Yep. By the way, the day he takes the stand is a couple days after his ex-wife takes the stand, and a huge report rips through the courtroom that his ex-wife, Shirley, who just took the stand, is now in the hospital after overdosing on drugs. So, yeah, she OD'd after she testified. She must have, I don't know what happened, but
deep depression.
Yeah. His wife, Kathy, his current wife here, she's believed to be an eyewitness to the killing here. It's not Shirley. Kathy's the one who OD'd. I'm sorry. Shirley testified, and that's all fine. Kathy, then, she's an eyewitness who's supposed to testify.
Oh, she's panicking.
She OD'd. So
she saw how it went with Shirley, and she's like, no.
Oh, no, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
So they get Harold on the stand here, and the Deputy Attorney General, William Keefe, he says, quote, you shot Howard Brooks in the back the first time, didn't you? Because that's the big deal they're trying to get across, is how cold-blooded it was to shoot a guy in the back with a shotgun and then
some chicken shit, yeah.
buck him. Ryan says, I did not. So the attorney asks him, well, didn't you tell Sergeant Vautier of the state police that you shot Howard Brooks twice, the first time in the stomach? And he said no. Okay, so then they held up the shirt that Howard Brooks had worn, which had the bullet holes, one in the back, one in the front, the whole deal. And they asked Ryan whether he didn't tell the police that in his original statement that before shooting Brooks the first time that Brooks had turned away, meaning that the shot would have been in the back. He said probably. That's Ryan's response, probably. So the lawyer says, is that the truth? And Ryan says no.
Oh.
So he went from probably to no. That's not what I said. So then the question is, so you lied to Sergeant Vautier? And Ryan said, quote, you could call it that if you want to.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, which is not at all that doesn't look good when you're a murder suspect on there. And they say, so you lied? And he goes, you can call it that if you want to. Well, so the jury here is going to, they have a couple options now, obviously. They are told that they have 4 choices. Not guilty, guilty of first-degree murder, guilty of second-degree murder, guilty of manslaughter.
Manslaughter to first degree, huh?
To acquittal. Those are your choices here. So through this, they choose to find him guilty of manslaughter.
Oh.
After 5 hours of deliberation, 7 women, 5-man jury, and he's guilty of manslaughter, which is obviously a much different sentencing deal here.
Are so loose.
Yeah, the most he can get is 15 years for manslaughter.
Is that right?
So the prosecutor recommends a 10 to 15-year sentence for him, which is still getting off pretty fucking light for what he did.
No kidding.
So the pre-sentence investigation that they do a big pre-sentencing report to find out where he is mentally, is he remorseful, all this type of shit. That said that the report indicated that Ryan should be incarcerated, quote, for some time to reflect on the death of his former friend.
For some time. So he needs some time. So, that's the whole deal. So he comes in. Jesus Christ. Does he say anything here? Yes. Jesus Christ, man. Does he beg?
No. He begs later. We'll talk about that. So
okay.
The judge comes in. This is John P. Morrissey. And he says, you, sir, may fuck off 1 to 5 years.
What?
With credit for 2 months already served and all but 6 months suspended. So 6 months in jail and you'll get credit for 2 served. So you're up for parole, I don't know, about 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Did he have
wow.
Kathy and Bonnie and
everybody sucking this guy's balls under the fucking...
Have them all handy him? What
all under the robe?
He got 6 months plus minus 2. He got 4 months?
He ended up serving 5 months, including the 2 that he served. So he ended up going... He had 62 months already served, went to jail for 3 months and was paroled.
Manslaughtered somebody and minor inconvenience of life. Like, you can keep your house with that. You can get 5 months that you didn't pay your mortgage.
5 months, people will help you out. Yeah, people will help. It's a trailer, for Christ's sake.
Holy shit.
Your brother lives there. He can fucking pay the mortgage on it for whatever. I don't know. So he's in there. He killed a guy. He got out on bail pretty quick. Yeah. And he does this amount of time. So he did 2 months, got out on bail, and then here he is now doing 3 months.
He killed a man, and he didn't even have to go to prison. He likely did it in county.
That is fucking intense, man. Given him all that, the sentence was based heavily on an evaluation report prepared by the corrections department, which included information from a consulting psychiatrist, clinical psychologist, a corrections counselor, and the superintendent at the St. Albans facility. They said that it was a surprise to a lot of people, the light sentence. A bit shocking.
I would say so.
William T. Keefe, the prosecutor, said, quote, if I had known there was only going to be a mild lecture, I would have not wasted the time and money to prosecute the case.
Honestly.
So for that, I wouldn't even have bothered. What's the point?
5 months? What's it matter? That's not justice.
It took longer than that to put the case together for trial. Like
there's a dead man's family out there.
The prosecutor did longer time than the fucking killer in that one. So he was very upset, and he called the evaluation report, said it was out of touch with reality, and he called it a whitewash and said that it ignored the facts of the case. Mm-hmm. So he is in jail now for a couple months. Now, while he's in jail for 3 months over this time period, Bonnie King, one of his girlfriends, she starts seeing somebody else on the side, okay? This is somebody that she had, quote, dated a few years ago, but didn't have sex with him or anything, like a teenage, are you my girlfriend type of thing, okay? He's 19 also. His name is Lawrence... Wow, shit. Juaire.
Huh.
Junior.
Juare?
That was what I came up with. Juare. I don't know what it. Juare?
Lawrence, Larry. They call him Larry.
Larry.
Larry Jr., they call him.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old, Larry Jr.
Age appropriate as fuck.
Yeah, they went to school together and shit like that. So they had seen each other a little then, but then when Gerald Ryan goes to prison in the fall of 73, she had seen Larry Jr. on 2 different evenings, and the second time she saw him, they had sex.
Oh, hey.
Okay. Now,
Larry's a smooth talker, too.
Larry's smooth, too. And Gerald finds out about this because she tells him about it.
Yeah.
Okay. He is, as it's put here, enraged by this.
I imagine.
Enraged when he later learned about it. He responded, this is how Bonnie described his response. He didn't find out about it until he got out of prison. So he gets out of prison. She tells him about it. And he, quote, as this is her quote, he responded by, quote, throwing me on the floor and kicking me and slashing open her forearm with a can opener.
Oh, my God.
That is fucking crazy that she still has a scar from later on.
How do you do that? Like,
I don't know if she had the top of the
it's
can
one of those
lid.
ones. It's one of those like
yeah, like a
the
poke.
ones with the point on the end.
You
Yeah.
have to do for like beer cans or
Right.
fucking high C
Motor oil.
always. High C you had to do that always. High C and motor oil. So yeah, so slashed her forearm open with a can opener after throwing her on the floor and kicking her.
Jesus.
That is quite the reaction.
Dare you fuck somebody your own age?
While I'm in prison for murder.
Right.
Jesus.
I was only in county. You couldn't wait.
It's just manslaughter. Fuck. Can't count on nobody to hold you down no more, man. Jesus Christ. Not like I was doing 25, for Christ's sake. So she talks about her brief involvement. She said that this whole talk it centered on her unfaithfulness and that he was so angry at this whole thing.
How dare you, sir?
How
many marriages have you ruined by
plenty.
being unfaithful?
Just adulterous as fuck with 15-year-olds. The fuck out of here.
Hypocritical asshole.
Oh, my God. So she said, quote, it just all added up, and I finally realized what was going on in his head. Well, what do you think's going on in his head? She said that what's going on in his head is his jealousy manifested itself into demands that she prove her love for him and by helping get revenge. Okay?
Hold on.
Prove
my
your love for me.
Prove your loyalty and love for me while I go do something horrible to somebody.
No. Not while I do something horrible to somebody. While you do something horrible to somebody. This is this time that this happens. I was wrong. It's in between. He goes to jail for 2 months. She fucks this guy.
Yeah.
Okay? He gets out on bail because he's in jail for first-degree murder that everybody says he did. She probably thinks, well, he's gone for fucking 30 years.
Right.
Find somebody else. Instead, 2 months later, he's out and pissed off. So when he goes back in for 3 months, he's like, this is the time to do it because I'm in jail, so they can't say it's me.
Right.
And who's going to suspect you? You're a fucking sweet little farm girl. No one's going to think it's you.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, he demanded that she kill him as a test of loyalty and also to atone for her unfaithfulness as well.
You have to do this.
Yeah, you have to show me that was you're truly sad about it and sorry about it by killing the one guy who you fucked. So, wow. She said that she agreed to do this because he had convinced her that she was, quote, undesirable and that she would age more quickly than other women because she's a diabetic and that any other man would eventually leave her because she's going to be hideous soon.
Oh, dear Lord.
And she said that he told her that, quote, no one else would accept me. So
nobody will want you.
You're a diabetic, so you're going to get ugly quick, is what he said to her.
What a ridiculous thing to say out loud.
You're 19, clock's ticking. I'm saying by the time you're 25, you'll be haggard and decrepit like your house that you grew up in, and no one will have sex with you except for me because I, will feel sympathy for your decrepit diabetic ass. Like, no.
What terrible things he must have said to her.
He's a fucking asshole. So
That's got to be tough to be diabetic and live up there and not be able to eat the maple syrup, right?
dude, or it's the nice thing is if you're like low blood sugar, you can just, if you're in the woods,
Just
you
binge on
just turn that tap on. You're like, oof, okay, I feel better now. Anywhere in the woods, you can get a pick me up. That's a nice. Put your head under a tap.
But you got to temper it, because too much and you're a mess, and not enough and you're a mess.
You're a mess. That's terrible. No, diabetic, that is an awful.
That's
it's
a
terrible. It's tough.
Oh, God.
I know you can control it, and I get that. I know a bunch of diabetic people, actually, so I understand the whole thing. But it's just always seemed like a giant hassle to me. Like,
It
that
really
would be
is,
such an inconvenient. I mean, it's more convenient than dying,
Sure.
to take care of it, but it's still very inconvenient just to live.
Yeah.
So he told her all this, and then he said, after all this, look, you're nothing, and no one will want you because you're going to be the fucking creep show guy. Like, that's what you're going to look like by the time you're 30. He tells her that, and then he says, but me, I will always love you and take care of you if you pass this test and show me how loyal you are to me. He told her that she was on thin ice, and this test is her last chance. This is your last chance right now. You're on thin ice, so you can either have my undying love forever and take care of you and protect you and do all that shit, or you can be alone and just a fucking
diabetic
crinkled up diabetic who is,
ridiculous.
Looks 40 years older than your age because your sugar's messed up a little. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So
did he say this on a phone? How the fuck did he get this message to her?
I think this was through
prison
this.
phone?
I think this was before he went in. He was telling her this,
got
and then he went in, and then he was like, "Now's the time to do it."
Right.
So, holy Jesus, this is a lot, man. This is a lot. So he and she said she trusted him because in the past she said that he told her Howard and Kathy Ryan were going to take me, or Shirley Ryan, or Kathy, the ex-wife there. Yeah. Was going to take me to through the court and drag me around, and he's, quote, settled it differently. So she took that as a measure of he protected me from that by killing Howard. So she took that as like, oh, and he's sweet.
What's the difference, James? You kill somebody, you get 5 months. It's a minor inconvenience.
That's what I mean. So she said, too, that Ryan told her that he killed Brooks to prove his love for her, and that she had to take care of her boyfriend, Larry Jr. here, to prove his love for him. It's pretty simple. It's, switcheroo here. Yeah. So he told her also that if she followed the procedures that he had followed in killing Brooks, that she would get off with a light sentence as he had, or get off completely and get no sentence at all. So follow the procedures. Shooting him and then turning yourself in and saying he was trying to kill you, that's not a procedure. It's just...
No. It's just a lie.
It's just a lie. And the guy then has to have a gun. It helps that he's like a meth addict and all that kind of shit. All that helped him a lot. So,
right. This is just a nice boy.
Yeah, absolutely. So she said that Gerald coached her on every aspect of this pending murder, including how to operate a shotgun, because she didn't know how to do that. She's she's a small, younger girl. And so the shotgun and everything. She also said that he promised he would pay for her attorney, Joseph Wool, who's the guy who defended him and got him that light sentence. So he said, I'll even pay for your attorney when this all goes down, and you'll get nothing. You'll totally get off. It'll be nothing. He said, quote, as long as you keep my name out of it, I know Wool will represent you, the attorney.
Okay. Yeah.
So you do all this, prove your love for me. I wasn't involved in it at all. You take the rap. I'll just pay for this attorney. He'll get you off it with a, quote, light sentence, which I still have to go to prison? What the fuck? So this is, he has filled her with a whole load of shit. And we know she's pretty easily, manipulated. So finally, October 3rd, 1974, he's been in prison for about 3 weeks at this point, Gerald has. So Bonnie, calls up her friend Roger Bushy, all right? Calls old Roger Bushy up and says, we need to have a rendezvous here at the Brown's ABC Market, which is a grocery store, food store, whatever. So she said that this is Gerald's friend, Roger Bushy. Right. She said that you're going to say you're going to test drive a car that Larry Jr. has for sale. And we're going to meet at the market, which is a public place. You're going to test drive the car, okay? He didn't tell her. She didn't tell him what the motive for was at all for this. She just said, you just test drive this car. And he, being a fucking idiot, obviously, didn't go, well, why you want me to test drive a car I ain't going to buy? Right. He didn't. He just was like, all right, sure. So, yeah. How
infrequently does he get to drive a car that he's like, I get to drive today? Great.
Oh, really? Was it a Pontiac? Oh, dang. All right. Shit, I didn't realize I get a Pontiac driving. Okay. All right. I'll do it. So she instructed him to bring Larry Jr. to Brown's ABC Market in Fairfield. And Bushy, she thought that he thought that they were going to buy the car. He thought that this guy thought, oh, maybe Gerald's going to buy the car. He's looking at it for her. Okay. Yeah. And they're having me test drive it to see if it's any good. That's what he said his thought process was. And I actually believe him because of his actions after this. So before setting out for the grocery store, she asked her parents if they needed anything. Yeah. Going out on a quick ambush, need me to grab you anything, is a funny thing to say. Which is fucking amazing.
I'm running out to murder. You guys need any milk?
Any milk or what do you like?
Happens to be at the market.
We had a salsa again? Yeah, because he didn't have any either. So her father said, yeah, please get me some tobacco to roll, or chew. I think it's chewing tobacco. So she leaves for the store, but stops along the way in a rural area because her house is so rural. There's plenty of area to test fire the shotgun to see if she can wield it, basically.
See if she can do it.
So she test fires the shotgun. Then she gets to the store. She waits a little bit while. She's there first. She sees Bushy arrive. He enters the store, and she left because she was in the store when Bushy came in the store. She walked out of the store and approached Larry Jr. in the parking lot. They talked at his car first, and then they moved over to her father's car where she drove. And she sat in the front seat while he stood outside, and they talked. Door open, sitting in the front seat. She had a shotgun sitting on the front seat next to her. Yeah. Now, Larry Jr. is getting married 3 days from now.
Oh.
Yeah. Your best friend Harry had a brother Larry. In 3 days from now, he's going to marry. So, young MC predicted almost this exact thing. I took a little liberty with the lyrics, but you get what I'm saying here. Yeah.
So Larry then likely had a girlfriend when he slept with her, huh?
It was yes. Oh. Let's just say yes. It's because they're getting married now. So this was
interesting little development.
Yeah, everybody's dipping in everybody else's syrup taps in this town, man. And
Larry's keeping the friendship, so that okay.
A lot of syrup cross-contamination going on in this town.
It's real sticky in this town.
Real sticky. You never get the pure stuff right from the tree.
Is that jizz or syrup? You never know.
You never know. So Larry Jr. is marrying Diane Richards, and Larry Jr. asked Bonnie, joking around, they're just making small talk. He asked, do you think I deserve a wedding present? Like, are you going to get, I know we've been together. Do you think I deserve a wedding present? Like, you're going to get me one? They're just trying to make small talk. She told him that at that point, I heard you've been spreading stories about me.
Oh, God.
This is a big thing in small towns is, quote, spreading stories. That's gossiping. So, heard you've been spreading stories. He said, no, not at all. I didn't spread any stories. I don't know what you're talking about. And then they discussed, well, I heard you said this and I don't like it. And he's, well, I won't think we should be friends and we'll go back and forth and blah, blah, blah. As they're talking, she, by the way, when asked about the shotgun, had told him that she might give it to him as a wedding present. That's why she brought it. So,
Bonnie Tyler, where are you going with that shotgun?
Where are you going with that shotgun? That's why he said, do you think I deserve a present? And she was like, well, actually, you've been spreading stories. He said, no, I haven't, blah, blah, blah. And they're talking, and he's like, listen, no, I haven't. We're friends. This is great. Why don't we, we'll all get together, you and fucking whoever. And he's trying to make nice. As this is going on, she swings the shotgun up and points it at his midsection. She said she took a hold of the barrel, and she said he took a hold of the barrel.
Yeah.
He grabbed the barrel and moved it away, but didn't act freaked out.
Yeah.
He moved it like, hey, don't point gun at me, Jesus.
Hey,
Like she was moving the shotgun around, and he was just like, hey, watch out with that, but not like, oh, God, you're going to shoot me. Then she moved the barrel back and shot him.
Oh, boy.
In fucking broad daylight in a grocery store parking lot.
From the driver's seat of a vehicle.
Of her father's car.
Right.
As she reloaded the gun.
Oh, my word.
She saw Bushy, the friend there, Bushy, who had just come back outside from the store. And he had come back. While they were talking, he came out of the store and went and sat in Larry Jr.'s car.
Right.
So he went and sat over there. And once this happened, she saw Bushy walk toward her, pause, and then turn and run in the store.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So she fired again at Larry Jr. to make sure. And she's a good assassin, I'll say that much for her. And then ran around the rear of the car screaming at the top of her lungs.
I imagine, yeah.
Which is, I mean, if you could, what would draw attention in broad daylight in a supermarket parking lot? Well, 2 very large shotgun blasts would probably get people's attention. Well, what would do more? I don't know, a teenage girl's shrill fucking ear-piercing scream, possibly?
Yeah.
Now, is everybody in town watching?
Also, I bet that didn't go the way she thought it was going to go, and I'm sure that was holy shit disturbing.
Probably. She liked this guy, other than what she has been told about him. Her actions are so much. I just read this 29-hour book on Jonestown and Jim Jones and the whole People's Temple movement, and she just sounds so much like she's a Jonestown person.
Yeah.
Like that's all it's the only way I can put it.
For sure.
Yeah, she's going to do it. She then dropped the gun and ran into the store where she ran up to Bushy. She told Bushy, hey, don't mention Gerald Ryan's name to the cops when you're talked to about this.
Keep his name out your mouth.
His response was to shove her away from him. Get the fuck away from me, you psycho bitch, was like what he said. He's like, get the fuck away from me. I'm not talking to you now. You just shot. I know this guy. What the fuck, dude?
I
You
was
just
gonna
shot this guy.
drive.
Yeah, I was going to buy a car. It was a Mercury. So a little while later, she went to a friend of theirs home here. She goes to a home that she knows a short distance away and calls the lawyer that Gerald told her would represent her. The wool guy calls her.
Nobody's called the cops yet.
No one's called. Well, I'm sure someone at the grocery store probably did. I hope anyway. That's a lot of minding your own business at that. I'm all for minding your own business. You know what I mean? Don't investigate. But if you're in the middle of a fucking grocery store parking lot in broad daylight and shotgun blasts and teenage girl screams are ringing out, look into that probably and see if you need to call somebody.
Okay.
So she says that the lawyer told her not to talk to anyone and that the lawyer would see her in the morning. So he didn't even say, go turn yourself in. None of that. She said, sit tight. I'll meet with you in the morning, is what the lawyer said.
Okay.
Wow. So this is...
I gotta get some shit on. What?
This is fucking
it's past
crazy.
my bedtime. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. And they asked her later on, why were you making small talk with him and all that? And she said, just to kill time. She was scared and just like trying to work up the
nerve
mustard. Yeah. She said, quote, the only thing running through my mind was Jerry. She said it wouldn't work if I didn't go through with killing him. So only thing grows is Jerry's going to dump me if I don't do this. So that's it. If Jerry dumps me, then I'm in trouble.
What a waste, too, because Jerry, he's getting married in a few days. This isn't going to happen again. Get over it.
Who cares? Yeah. Shit happens. How many people have you banged since you've known Bonnie? You're married, for fuck's sake. Yeah. So she said that after she shot him, she was rushing to reload. And she said, in a sense, quote, in a sense, I could hear Jerry's voice running through my mind telling me to do it. Oh, my. She could see her like, no, go ahead, which is, again, very Jim Jones-ish. She said that after she shot Larry Jr., she felt relieved because that's what Jerry wanted done. So now she got it done and finally, okay, now he won't dump me. So, yeah, she called Wool and did what he told her to do. So this gets really interesting when Roger Bushy comes forward, and because right away he's willing to say everything. He's not willing to keep Gerald's name out of it. He's like, fuck this. I wasn't. He's mad that he basically was unwillingly made to set somebody up to be murdered that he liked. Right. So he was like, what the fuck? I didn't want to be a part of that shit. So he's mad.
I was interested in helping him sell a car. You were helping buy a car. I was the middleman of two happy parties, for fuck's sake.
Trying to sell a Bonneville, Bonnie. So his account says that he heard her with the second shot tell him that he, quote, deserved it. You deserve this.
She carbon copied this minus the place.
It's insane. It's She's trying to be just like him. So then for 6 months, because she followed her lawyer's advice, which was he attacked you. This was self-defense.
Right.
Okay. He tried to get with you again. Right. You said no. He got pushy. You know, it's a Goodfellas thing. I said no. He started to get mad. I tried to get out of the car, and that's when he hit me. So she said that she shot him in self-defense and that it was only her and her alone responsible for all of it. Mm-hmm. It's just me. Then, in April of 1975, she changes her story and tells the cops, okay, here's what happened, and tells everything I just told you. Because otherwise she had no reason. She wasn't going to do this on her own. No way. She said that she, didn't tell the truth because she was represented by Wool, who told her to say that it was self-defense. So she followed her lawyer's advice. That's what you do. So Wool's firm said they represented her for about 2 months, but since Gerald Ryan didn't provide the money he promised, they dropped her.
Oh.
Wool dropped her, and then a public defender came in, and a public defender heard what happened and was like, get the fuck blame the guy who made you do it. Yeah, this is crazy. You're fucked. Yeah. You did this in broad daylight in front of somebody who knows you. This is ridiculous.
Just tell the truth.
Yeah, so she said she lied about her motive in the killing and everything else, and she finally told the truth when this all went down and they started working out a plea agreement. The agreement is that she will cooperate with the state here and participate. Cooperating with the state entails testifying and also setting him up for a sting operation.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're like, well, it's just your word against his, basically, unless you have proof of him saying this stuff.
We get him on tape saying some shit, then.
Yeah. So they find a way here, and that is they have a meeting, and this is supposed to be, hey, so we don't see, no one sees us together, with at the home of her aunt and uncle in rural Georgia.
When he's out.
Yeah. So this is after he's out, and they're just going to have a meeting to talk about stuff.
Come on down to Georgia.
Come on down to Georgia. Talk about some shit. So that's how the song goes. So the police place microphones all over the farmhouse to monitor this conversation, and 2 officers are stationed in the basement with recording equipment like you'd see, in a van somewhere. And other cops were posted outside the building as well, listening. So the purpose is to get him to discuss his role in the killings, and then they listen in. So at first, though, this is fucking amazing. Ryan wasn't wanting to talk to her about shit like that. He wanted to fuck. He's like, what are you? I don't care about that.
We got time for that.
We're alone. We're in a fucking farmhouse. Let's get it on.
Pull it out.
So they engage in sexual activities, quote unquote, on the living room couch and floor. This is done with the cops not only listening with headphones on, but fucking right through the floor right there. They're like, I see dust coming down from the floor. I think they're fucking now. So they had to fucking, on display.
Wait for stalagmites of jizz to come down.
Yeah, which feels like, that almost feels illegal. For a guy, I don't give a shit. But if being a protective person, if the genders were flipped, I'd be like, as soon as that starts, the cops have to come up and go, up, 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 up. No, we're not. We shouldn't be allowed to watch this. I don't know. But eventually, though, she said, by the way, too, she was trying to protest this because she was pregnant at the time with Gerald Ryan's baby, by the way.
Oh, dear God.
That baby will be born stillborn. And I know it's a sad thing to say, but it would have been 50 years of this kid being a fucking menace to society
Poor
by now.
thing. Yeah.
Poor, that baby never had a chance, and with that scumbag of a father. So very sad, though. Anyway, it's always sad when a stillborn happens. It's terrible. So she said that the intercourse, because she's a diabetic, number one, and has other health concerns, that she has a touchy pregnancy. So she says she doesn't want to have any intercourse because it might be harmful. And he said, I'll hump away on you. Don't worry about it. So he apparently...
that baby doesn't have a chance in there. Watch this.
Yeah, he porked that kid stillborn at this point. I don't know if he hit the soft spot or what, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during this monitored conversation, though, he told her to deny his responsibility for the pregnancy as well. Hey, by the way, don't tell people that's my kid.
He's just pouring extra scum on this whole thing.
Yeah,
He's
make
such
it
a
worse.
scumbag.
He said, tell them that you fucked some guy while I was at the Woodstock Correctional Facility serving my murder time. Just tell him that.
It's Larry's.
Yeah, just tell him. No, somebody else, because Larry was dead by then. So
Oh, yeah.
somebody else. Just you porking somebody. Who knows? So then they discussed again how he told her how to operate a shotgun. And he said at this point that he still intended to hire Wool to represent her full time. Okay.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment, and Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity. And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep shoppers coming back with personalized experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge. In fact, it's proven, based on a report from EY, businesses on Shopify POS see real results, like 22% better total cost of ownership and benefits, equivalent to an 8.9% uplift in sales on average relative to the market set surveyed. Want more? Check out at shopify.com/Wondery. All lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity. Shopify.com/Wondery.
The problem is these tapes, because it's 1974.
Oh, no.
And the equipment's terrible. These tapes come out like shit. They're inaudible. And all they have are the 18 cops that were listening to it. Yeah, and fuck noises coming and her word on the whole thing. So they don't have the goods on tape. So that sucks there. So she said that the investigators put pressure on her, obviously, here, clearly. She said that she lied about her motives then to a state psychiatrist even until the spring when she said, okay, fine, and told him the truth. Okay. So, that's what happened. The tape, they said it was unusable in court, which is
way too much sex.
Way too much sex. So they ask her also about a photograph of the dashboard of her father's car where several 12-gauge shotgun shells were visible there.
Okay.
So she said she shot him twice with her father's 12-gauge shotgun while she was sitting in the car with the door open and he was standing in the parking lot. So they have a bunch of evidence there that she came, loaded up for even more. So they work out the plea agreement, she is allowed to plead guilty to second-degree murder instead of first degree if she agrees to help the state prosecute Gerald Ryan. So she does that, obviously. She is sentenced to, by the way, you young lady may certainly fuck off 10 to 25 years in jail for her.
Jesus, that's a far cry from 5 months.
Keep that in mind, okay? And they put her in Hollowell, Maine, in the Stevens School Correctional Center, where she then had a stillborn baby and was in the hospital for a couple weeks because she had health problems afterwards. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. So Ryan, at this point, is still out and about, obviously, doing his thing. There's some letters, a series of letters from Gerald to Bonnie when he was in jail and then when she's in jail. But there's no overt statements about Larry Jr. included because Bonnie says she destroyed many of the letters that Ryan told her, hey, destroy this letter when you're done reading it.
Yeah.
She'd be like, okay.
Make this self-destruct.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going to arrest him also, though, based on, obviously, they did the sting operation. They have her witness, all of her witness accounts saying this. So they arrest him also. And they let him out on a $25,000 bail. So he's out. He faces first-degree murder charge, actually. He is let out on bail and has to stay at his parents' house and that live there and be within 4 counties. He's allowed to go. Okay. So September 1975 is the trial for Gerald. All right, they're going to have a trial here. Fuck, man. One guy testifies here. The trial starts out with fireworks because apparently this Larry Jr. is not the first guy who got the treatment after, paying Bonnie some attention. Guy named Harold Garrett, who's 24 years old, he testified that Gerald Ryan tried to run him off the road after he dated Bonnie once. He went out with her one time. This guy at this point was married. He's a married farmer. And so they bring him in for cross-examination. So they say, that's what happened. They let him off before cross-examination for some reason. He gives his witness statement. They say, can he be brought back for cross-examination? I don't know, maybe it was a recross. Mm-hmm. And they indicated that he might have begun to drive home by then. So the defense attorney said, maybe we can run him off the road again, which is pretty funny, objectively. That's pretty funny, right?
Run him off the road, bring him back.
Come on. Garrett, by the way, is a third cousin of Gerald Ryan. So they're even fucking related. Lord. This is a mess, man. They're all either cousins or Eskimo brothers. I don't like any of this. This is terrible.
One way or another, they're related.
They're related. So this is, Jesus Christ, man. Fucking section Vermont is what this is.
It's incredible.
Fuck. So, Garrett, he testified that he received 3 threatening letters warning him not to give statements against Gerald or he, quote, won't live to see many more days. Another letter sent to Garrett said, quote, I've been watching your pretty wife and it's a shame you got to lose her so quick.
What?
That's some crazy, that is disturbing.
Stalking and
Jesus.
Watching my family because...
What are you, the Russian mob? What's going on? So upon the delivery of the note, Garrett said he saw Ryan drive away from his house. So he saw him deliver it. So and I don't think he was trying to hide it at all.
I don't think he was, yeah. I think he wanted to make it damn sure appropriate and visible of what he's doing because I need you scared of who did this.
Dude, this is, wow. They also talk about this, but these notes, by the way, were attached to their front door.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there was him and his wife got notes saying not to testify, all this type of shit. Another person said there was threats against the family of Larry Jr.
Oh?
They've been threatening the family, the victims' fucking families. Informed sources said some of the threats were received while both Ryan and Bonnie Lee were in prison. So Bonnie Lee King were in prison, so it could have been anybody else. He's got brothers and cousins and fucking everybody else here. In addition, they said they were told of a complaint by a complaint to state police by Ryan. Ryan now says that someone shot at him last July when he was riding on his family's, or he was at his family's farm in Fletcher. Jim Jones did this all the time. This is
Claimed to be shot
someone
at.
shot at me. Yeah. He claimed to be shot and self-healed a wound by the time anybody got to him to give him a fucking hand.
I already fixed it.
There was a big hole in me and I fixed it up. It's a miracle. Back to doing what you're doing. So it's fucking interesting. There's all sorts of crazy shit that's going on, obviously. They said there's no firm lead been established in there, but Gerald said a bullet hit the bailing machine he was operating, punching a hole in one side of it, and a bullet was recovered and turned over to the state police. He couldn't have shot his own bailing machine.
No
and went,
way.
wow. He also said the car in which he was riding, this is Gerald Ryan now, was forced off the road by a hay truck on July 10th. Evil hay truck, no. The day he was released on bail pending the current trial. He said that this, too, was reported to the police, and then the shooting incident said was exactly a week later.
I wonder if it was a .22 caliber.
Yeah, I wonder. That's a good question. So now Bonnie here, we're going to get some psychological what's up with Bonnie.
What's
up with Bonnie is the question of this whole thing. Like, how is I get it. She's a kid, and he's known her since she was a child, and he manipulates her. But she's got to have some stuff going on here. So psychologically, the psychiatrist William Woodruff says in court here that he's been interviewing her. He called her a cool cat, not meaning like, hey, that's a cool cat right there.
Yeah.
He means that he said, quote, I don't think I've ever met anybody so calm and lacking in emotion.
Oh.
Cool cat, like flat affect type of thing. He described her as, quote, an automaton.
What?
Like a fucking wind-up doll that you push in a direction. And that's interesting. He said that he's interviewed hundreds of accused murderers and likened King to an automaton at that point. Then he said, I don't think I've ever met anyone so calm or lacking emotion. It astonished me. In the vernacular, you'd call her a cool cat.
Or a psychopath?
Or maybe that, or just maybe slightly autistic, or possibly just doesn't know social cues because she grew up by herself.
Right.
Who knows? He said that she had been brought up in a social vacuum by virtue of her rural surroundings and few friends in her school years. He also said that Bonnie may have been living in a fantasy world. He said having fantasies could be a symptom of schizophrenia. Right. He said on one occasion, after a question from one of the lawyers, Woodruff asked if the query could be repeated since he was daydreaming. At that point. On another, this was during the thing. Hey, could you repeat that? I was daydreaming on the stand. On another occasion, they asked the doctor what he thought of Miss King shooting a 375 Magnum weapon known as an elephant gun in the air as a signal to call Ryan. At which point, the psychiatrist responded, "I didn't know we had elephants here." He's trying to be fucking. He's got jokes up there and shit.
Why is this place such a fucking open mic?
Dude, this is a disaster.
Why is everybody throwing jokes around?
This judge needs to fucking...
Yeah, there will be order here.
Listen, fucking Yakov Smirnoffs of the crowd. I am not having this hackery and bullshit in my courtroom. I'm not doing it.
Having quips about people being run off the road, nor the existence of elephants in this town. Just answer the fucking questions.
Or if you're going to make a joke, make it funny, or else I'm putting you in contempt of court. That's how it works.
If you don't want to take a chance on me defining what's funny, don't make a fucking joke.
Don't make a joke. So during this testimony, the prosecutor mentions the Howard Brooks killing in the being in the same vein of the Larry Jr. killing, and that causes a big kerfluffle because they're not supposed to introduce the previous evidence of the previous killing. The prosecutor calls it defense attorney. Yes. Defense attorney calls it highly improper and inflammatory. They made 28 objections to his testimony, 18 of which were sustained. He called some more little quotes about Bonnie. He called her, quote, a pathetic figure who the prosecution will not try to put on a pedestal. He said that She was a farm girl of limited education, and then the defense attorney told the jury that King is going to tell you of Gerald Ryan's influence over her, enough influence for her to even kill for him. But do you believe that? Blah, blah, blah. So he is drugged up, by the way, Gerald Ryan. We'll find out what he's on in a second, but he's on a shitload of drugs. So comes in a black suit and sits there and kind of stares at the floor. That's what they do. So the psychiatrist also described Bonnie's personality as hysterical, meaning the medical meaning of the word.
Yeah.
Also said she was a shy, seclusive person with a heavy dependency on others. He characterized Gerald's domination of her as being brainwashed, but then said that because of the pressure on her to be true to him and the jealousy he expressed about this whole thing, that he said it's also possible psychologically that she could have misconstrued his meaning and sincerely believed he wanted her to kill Larry Jr. to prove her loyalty. But she says that he said it explicitly, not just he didn't like beat around the bush and was like, I don't know, maybe he disappears. It wasn't like a mob guy on the phone.
Right.
It was, hey, kill him with a shotgun. Here's how you shoot.
Yeah. Remember what I did? Try that.
So the state's case rests upon whether they believe Bonnie or not. That's all there is to it here. Other witnesses corroborate a lot of her story, but none of them indicate personal instruction on or personal knowledge of actual instructions by him on what to do there. So it ends on the trial on a Friday, goes to jury, and there is no verdict after Friday. Mm-hmm. So they tell the judge that they'll never agree on his guilt or innocence. And the judge goes,
have to be kidding.
Let's go. Let's fucking take it in there.
Enough jokes, I said.
Let's give this a shot here. And also before this goes to jury, in the jury instructions, there's a shitload of fighting about the what they're allowed to think about the similarities between these two shootings. Okay. Huh. So the prosecution wants that in each case, the victim was shot in the stomach, dropped to the ground after being shot, then was shot again. In each case, a shotgun was used and was fired almost point blank. In each case, the victim was lured away from his home and urged to come to a specific location. In each case, self-defense was claimed, and the person arrested was represented by the same lawyer, Joseph Wool of Burlington.
And in each case, somebody said, you deserve this.
You deserve, that's the other one. Now, the defense attorney said that that's a very novel theory of law and has never been tested in a murder case. He's on trial for first-degree murder and without pulling the trigger and without, paying her or any of that shit, too. He was in jail. So they're kind of trying this out at the time. Nowadays, that's immediate first-degree murder, but back then it was a new thing. So they said they told the jury at one point, the defense, that Ryan, quote, would be aware of the honor conferred upon him if he was the first man in history so convicted. So basically, he knows what a big, massive thing it would be if all of you juries completely went around the law. The defense attorney said, we feel he's either guilty of first-degree murder or should be acquitted.
Okay.
That's what he says here. That's one or the other. Well, because they don't want this manslaughter, then he's going to go to jail first, because he doesn't think they've made the case for first-degree murder.
Yeah.
So he's saying, if you don't do that, you should acquit him.
Put him in forever or never serve a day in his life.
Yeah. Well, so the jury, after the Friday after they said they'll never get along and they'll never come to a decision, the judge sent them back to their quarters at 10 p.m. for a good night's rest. Okay. So then the next day, he ends up dismissing the jury when they are hopelessly deadlocked at 11-1 for conviction. Wow. 11-1 for conviction, and it is a mistrial.
Oh, boy.
Fucking trial. So, yes, that's obviously a mistrial there. So that's pretty interesting.
They try it again, right?
Oh, they're going to try him again. Yeah, don't you worry here. So the retrial is in April of 1976. Mm-hmm. Is the retrial. They asked the judge for a judgment. Right away, the defense asked the judge for a judgment of acquittal before they even start their case. The motion's denied.
Yeah.
This is based on that, quote, common law holds an accessory cannot be convicted of a greater crime than the principal. And Miss King's pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of second-degree murder after the plea bargain so that he shouldn't get first-degree murder. Okay. The state has failed to present evidence on which the jury could possibly convict Ryan without reasonable doubt. The case rests virtually exclusively on the testimony of Bonnie Lee King. So that's what they say. So under the Vermont law, which he's being charged with here, to be found guilty, he must be found to have hired, counseled, or otherwise procured the commission of the crime. I think that falls into that.
Yeah.
Otherwise procured means, can you do that for
fast.
me?
Yeah, that's you could get anything fit in there.
And he taught her how to use a gun, so I put counseled in there as well.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't pay her, but that's if he was involved in any other role, he must be acquitted no matter how reprehensible that role is, the defense attorney says. The assistant attorney here, Keefe, is prosecuting again. Right. He counters with these arguments that under Vermont law, an accessory can be found guilty of a more serious crime than the principal. The extreme, he said, would be a situation in which the accessory is prosecuted, but the principal, for reasons of age or mental condition, is not. Also, that if the jury chooses to believe Bonnie, it can convict Ryan beyond a reasonable doubt. He said the case is a credibility contest. So the tape is in. The tape is out because it's such poor quality. Right. The fuck tape. It's out. During it, there's a little exchange where they mention that one of the officers hiding in the farmhouse basement was wearing a set of Mickey Mouse-type headsets to monitor the conversation. Okay. And they tried to say, does that mean they're not good quality? And he's like, no, you look like Mickey Mouse because they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said the person looks like Mickey Mouse. It's not referring to the quality of the device. He said a lot of tax dollars went into that equipment, sir. That's what he said.
Very expensive. You just look stupid wearing them.
And then the defense said, I can certainly see that. This is equipment that all these tax dollars went into that produced a 98% useless tape. Nice equipment.
Great equipment. All it says is give it to me harder.
That's all I hear is,
Watch the baby, watch the baby.
I think I heard choke me in there somewhere, so I don't like that. So one statement they said that he heard from Ryan did not appear to fit with the prosecutor's claim that he conspired with Miss King. This is what the defense is saying here. Mm-hmm. And the state policeman, as the state policeman told it, Ryan said to Miss King, quote, "You're a big girl now. You didn't have to shoot him. You ought to have known better." That's what the cop said he said at one point.
Uh-huh.
So he was being kind of, I think he was suspicious is probably the problem.
Right.
So he was, how can I fuck her and still not incriminate myself? Now, the defense described her as a young woman who became involved in sexual relations with numerous men as a means of satiating her need to be loved and be the center of attention.
Okay, that can be true either way.
That can be true, and he could have told her to, yeah.
That feels inflammatory, sir. That seems mean.
Did I mention she's a hooer? Hooer! No, it's fucking stupid because, yeah, you know why it's stupid. It's a fucking stupid thing to say. That's all. That person you just described is also a person that you could manipulate to get to do things.
Absolutely.
So you just made their point at the same time. So Bonnie again said that got the shotgun, showed the jury how Gerald had showed her how to use the 12 gauge that she used, where to aim, how to make it appear as if she shot in self-defense by ripping her clothing.
Oh, shit.
They tried to do. Uh-huh. She had ripped clothes and all that kind of shit. And they said he told her to shoot twice if she had time and only talk to an attorney and not talk to the police. Mm-hmm. She said she received instructions in the letters, phone calls, and meetings with Ryan. During cross-examination, the defense attorney said to Miss King here, "You understand that this questioning is not a battle of wits, that this is not a game?" And she said yes. So they asked her if she had been instructed by the lawyers to look at the jury when she answers, because she turns and looks at the jury to answer questions. Yeah, she's doing the Amber Heard. Yeah. So they said, then she looked at the jury and said, yes, they told me they were the ones who judge and they should hear my answers.
Right.
Which just sounds very innocent. It's fine. And they then asked her if Gerald ever explicitly told her to kill Larry Jr. She said no, but he told me I had to get rid of Larry and how to load the gun and where to shoot and how many times to shoot and to rip my clothes and to not talk to the cops and to talk to a lawyer and then he would pay for the lawyer. So
yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Super
means yes. So part of her testimony is stricken from the record because it references the killing of Howard Brooks as well. Okay. So that causes a conference in chambers, and the defense attorney says, we're getting close to a mistrial here. So before the cross-examination, the jury requested that Gerald Ryan sit in a position where they could see him more fully. I guess he's been kind of slumping down and kind of hiding behind his attorneys. They want to watch him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He testifies.
Oh, Jerry.
He's got it. He's so cocky that he thinks, I'll take care of this. I'll get up there and I'll tell him. It's fine.
He talked a girl into murder. He can talk a jury into freedom, right?
What he's thinking. Same reason Ted Bundy represented himself. He goes, I can talk my way out of this. So he said that he did not like Larry Jr. because Larry had sexual relations with his then girlfriend, but he had no part in the murder. Okay. He told the jury that while he had lied under oath at the inquest into the murder, he's telling the truth now, and that he had not ordered his former girlfriend to kill him in order to prove her love for Gerald. Okay. They talk about the conversation in the Georgia farmhouse, which was monitored by police, and they ask him if he remembered telling Miss King not to pinpoint anything at her upcoming trial and to say she didn't remember so that the state wouldn't trick you into saying something that they might want to hear. Do you remember telling her how to testify? And he said, yes, no. What would make you feel better? That's Ryan's answer on the stand. Yes, no. What would make you feel better?
Which one does the jury like?
The judge fucking pipes up and says, don't argue with the defense. Don't argue with the prosecution. Just answer the questions. And at one point, the defense attorney from his table had to say to Ryan while he was being cross-examined, don't get into an argument here. Just answer the question. He yelled at him. His attorney, completely out of turn, yelled at him across the courtroom. Because then the judge said, you shut the fuck up.
Fucking up my case.
Yep, that's what he said. Don't get into an argument. Just answer the goddamn question. What everybody was thinking they wanted to say. So after each questioning concerning his testimony at the inquest earlier, they'd say, was that a lie? And Ryan would say yes, over and over again. So in questioning on the many letters he'd written Bonnie while he was in jail, the prosecution noticed that Ryan had requested she destroy the letters and asked Ryan, would you have written these things? Would you have written the things you did about Larry Jr.'s death if you thought she saved them? And he answered, quote, I don't know. They asked him why he had expressed concern in his conversation at the Georgia farmhouse that law enforcement officers would find his prints on the shotgun. Ryan said, I don't know.
Oh, no.
When asked if he had told Bonnie to rip her blouse to make it appear as if Larry Jr. had grabbed her, he said, I didn't tell her to rip nothing. But then he acknowledged that he, quote, might have told her she should have ripped it the night before when she told him what she had done the morning after the shooting.
I didn't tell her to do it, but when she did do it, I told her that was stupid. You should have done this premeditated.
This is how you hide it. Then they asked him, did you say you would procure the services of your lawyer, Wool, for Bonnie? And he said, it depends on what way you look at it. This guy's an asshole. This is
arrogance, man.
This is a guy that's used to being in control of shit, and he's not in control of shit, and he won't play along. That's what this guy is. This is a fucking asshole. So it's totally what it is. You're not going to dominate me because, even though I'm on trial for murder, and that's exactly your job. So
this has been a mistrial before, and it's fed into his ego. He thinks he can do it again.
He got away with murder before. He did 3 months, for Christ's sake. Yeah. He says that he never threatened to shoot any of the men that Bonnie had sexual relations with, but could not remember if he had threatened any of them with other forms of bodily harm. Right. He said that in the frequent quarrels he had with Bonnie about being true to one another, Bonnie would threaten the men she had affairs with, saying they used her. He said she always tried to put the blame on the boys and would threaten to shoot that so-and-so. He said, though, that he might have described the men as garbage when arguing with her. Might have said those are garbage people. Yeah. He also said that he couldn't remember even threatening Bonnie and said that he never hurt her intentionally, never cut her with a can opener or anything like that. Okay. So, the jury, after an hour's discussion, they go in for an hour to deliberate. Yeah. They come back out. They ask to hear the last 15 minutes of the state psychiatrist's testimony and the testimony of one of the cops. So can you give us that? So they read that. Then 10 minutes later, they come back.
Oh.
And they say, got it. We got it. We got a verdict here.
We got it.
He's got Ryan sitting there. His wife, Kathy's here still somehow.
Oh, really?
She's here. His mother's there. His brother's there. He's got a friend named Harleen Wright there. Uh-huh. We'll talk about Harleen. Remember the name Harleen Wright. That's his friend right now, okay? Yeah. So he is convicted, guilty of first-degree murder.
Okay.
So he says, well, I should get bail before appeals. I mean, Jesus Christ, I should get bail. This is fucking ridiculous here. This is wild. Now, during arguments at the bail request, the state attorney reported that the foreman of the jury had received an anonymous threatening phone call since the trial, since it ended.
Oh, no.
Also claimed there was no guarantee that Ryan would comply with bail provisions and cited what he called hysteria and paranoia in Ryan's home territory over Larry Jr.'s death. Mm-hmm. It's like, we don't know what he's going to do. They said Ryan, who's been taking Librium, I don't know. That's a 70s. It's I quote, tranquilizing drug from the 70s.
Shit.
It's probably an elephant fucking tranquilizer. It'll put an elephant down.
There's no elephants here.
There's no elephants here. So I said that. So they said he stared downward as he had done during most of the proceedings when the verdict was given. No reaction he got. So they go to sentencing here, and it is a mandatory sentence. You, sir, may fuck off, life in prison.
Oh, boy.
Now, first-degree murder convictions carry an automatic appeal in the state of Vermont. Mm-hmm. So definitely we have to discuss the appeal here. So automatic appeal. The state argues that the motives for both the killings, Brooks and Larry Jr., were the same jealousy on the part of him. They think that the state, he says, quote, we think the state misunderstands the theory of the motive exception. Evidence of other crimes is only admissible to establish motive when the fact of the commission of the other crime provides a reason for the defendant to have committed the crime charged. So that makes sense if you go backwards on that. It's admissible to establish a motive when the fact of the commission of the other crime provides a reason for him to commit the crime charged, like to kill someone to cover up a killing.
Right.
That's what that would basically be. So he said, even if we accepted the state's assertion that there was a motive of jealousy behind the killing of Brooks and that the appellant had reason to be jealous of the victim in that case, we do not find the probative value necessary to override the prejudice which could result from the admission of the Brooks killing evidence. We find this to be precisely the kind of evidence which is prohibited under Vermont law because, to paraphrase a case, the evidence would be effective only as it appealed to the tendency to believe that a man who acted on jealousy at one time may very well have been guilty of the same offense at another. So it basically says because you did something once, they can't say that you always did that in court. So they said the other exception on which the state relies is that which admits evidence of other crimes to show intent. For essentially the same reasons we rejected the state's argument based on the motive exception, we hold that the evidence of appellant's prior conviction for manslaughter should have been ruled inadmissible. The exception which allows the use of evidence is to show the intent. I already said that. The state's attempts to fit the evidence of the manslaughter conviction under the rubrics of motive or intent share the same flaw. In neither case do we find any connection between the two crimes other than that connection which depends on the naturally drawn but legally insufficient assumption that if he did it once, he'll probably do it again.
What the fuck?
That doesn't work legally. Based on the foregoing discussion, we hold that the initial ruling of the trial court, which denied the motion to exclude the evidence of prior conviction for manslaughter, was error. Such evidence falls under none of the exceptions to the general rule that evidence of a defendant's prior crimes may not be used against him, and the failure to rule resulted in prejudice to the appellant. That means thrown the fuck out.
Unbelievable. What in the shit? Let him
fucking turned. October 31st, 1977, they overturned it. So
unbelievable.
Ordered a new trial here for him. A new trial. So holy balls. April, Jesus Christ, man. This is fucking wild. So he has the whole thing. New trial. Obviously. But time is going by. Every more time that goes by, the less this is likely to stick. And that goes with anything, you know what I mean? Unless it's a DNA situation, it's like that. So they order a new trial. 1979 comes around finally.
Dear Lord.
Okay. He's been out, by the way, this whole time.
Of course. Yeah.
He's been out. So they're trying to get him to make a deal. They're trying to get him to plea bargain. They're trying to get him to do something. So they end up having him finally agree to plead guilty to being an accessory after the fact.
Holy shit.
Because an accessory after the fact actually has a longer sentence than manslaughter.
Okay.
So rather than
5 months?
It's longer than 5 months. Yeah. That's like 1 to whatever. The minimum is 15 years on the accessory after the fact.
Oh.
So that's why they're like, okay, we'll get him on that. And that's not the minimum, but one of the sentencing ranges you can do is that. So you can get that or you can get something lower, but they thought they'd get better sentence out of this. So he admitted to having helped. He admits to having helped Bonnie fabricate a story denying the killing in an attempt to avoid prosecution. That's what he's pleading guilty to.
That's it.
Not orchestrating the murder.
Wow.
He also admitted to lying at an inquest when he said that he had never shown her how to use a shotgun. Okay. He said, as I've already said, I never told her to shoot anybody. That's all I want to say about that.
But I have shown her how to use them.
Did tell her how to do it here. Yeah, that's the thing. So Franklin County State's Attorney David Miller urged them to impose a sentence of a 6-year minimum. Okay, Judge, please, 6-year minimum, citing the 2 felonies and his 73 manslaughter conviction as 3 very serious offenses in less than fucking in a couple year period here. Right. They suggest also here that Ryan had been involved in a lover's triangle with Larry Jr. and that Bonnie had testified at the trial that he had coerced her. Blah 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 blah. So they said, so why did he show Bonnie how to use a shotgun? A consciousness of guilt, Your Honor. Gerald Max Ryan knew what he was doing. He did this because the taking of a human life was cheap to him. Mm-hmm. So sentencing comes around, and it's fucking postponed a ton. It keeps getting postponed. Postponed. Postponed.
This is the most edging story on the fucking planet.
Crazy. You're never going to come. So they also say that there's a paperwork problem. That's what happened. Okay. He's also convicted for false swearing, which also carries years in jail. I think it's a 5-year minimum, but he's hoping that they'll run consecutive and not concurrent, but probably not. So false swearing charge stems from his testimony at the inquest. It's basically perjury, but in a little higher. Perjury with some stank on it. Okay. There he said that he didn't tell her to use the gun. Now at sentencing, he's got to kind of, try to work this a little bit. He says, yes, I showed her how to use a gun, but I never told her to shoot anybody. Again, he says that. He, by the way, will be given credit here for 615 days already served on the murder conviction.
2 years almost.
So he'll get credit for that. He is sentenced to, are you ready?
Yeah.
You, sir, may fuck off 3 to 7 years in jail, of which he has credit for 615 days. This is March 79, and he will be eligible for parole in a matter of a couple of months.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Couple months, no problem. He'll be back.
This man is a danger.
Yeah, by October 1980, he, oh no, that's his kid. Holy shit, I thought that was him. Okay. Gerald Max Ryan Jr., his son, is arrested, pleads guilty to possession of a controlled substance as well.
Okay.
So
he's doing drugs.
it goes all the way up to that. Then I found here, January 1st, 2020, Gerald dies at 76 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Out of prison for fucking 40 years he lived.
40 years.
Yep,
Lived unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. He loved welding and doing mechanical work. He worked at Ormond Bushy Excavating. Bushy.
Hey,
you know that name?
Who that is.
Yeah. He worked for their fucking family, dude.
Wow.
The guy who, that's how small this town is. Yep, I got to work for the guy's family who testified against me in a murder trial.
Unbelievable.
That's a small town. That's small.
Or those people are terrified of him. They're like, we'll give you a job. You can weld some shit for us.
Worked there for 27 years after all this was over. Worked there till he was 60, mainly operating their Fairfax sand and gravel pit and then the North Hero Quarry. He enjoyed going to tractor pulls.
Yeah, he did.
This is in the newspaper.
Yeah.
He enjoyed. Hey, everyone. Right now, I'll tell Sarah publicly, whoever puts this together, please don't tell people I enjoy. Quote, he enjoyed going to tractor pulls. Actually, you know what? Do that, because people will be like, really? That's weird. He liked tractor pulls? Wow.
Did they also have skeet shooting in the things he likes?
He enjoyed going to tractor pulls, yard sales.
Yeah.
He likes rummaging through garbage and watching tractors and mud. And he likes to go out to breakfast because it's Vermont.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody does.
Big fan of the blueberry pancakes.
The funny thing, one of these articles of his trial and shit, like beneath it in the newspaper was this giant picture. It was a quarter of the page, Jimmy, of this picture of this big guy, not a big fat guy, but like a big guy who's about 30 years old with a fucking ear-to-ear smile on his face, pouring syrup over a stack of like a dozen pancakes. And it said, this guy, so-and-so, is taking the all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast seriously. And he's just like, I'm going to eat all these. There's literally a dozen. I'm not kidding. I counted them. There's a dozen pancakes. It's so many
real
pancakes.
picture. It's not like a fucking fake advertisement.
No.
This is of a guy out in town.
We covered the big pancake breakfast down at the church, and here's the guy who was eating the biggest stack. Look at that.
All you can eat. Well, then I'll eat a dozen. Shit.
That's it. Come on down. He also loved spending time with his family, especially his grandchildren.
Oh, my God.
He is survived by his longtime partner, Harleen Wright of East Fairfield. Remember her?
Stuck around.
She stuck around from the fucking trial. Listen to this, though.
Yeah.
This is the greatest line ever in an obituary. He is survived by his longtime partner, Harleen Wright of East Fairfield, his special friend, Judy Bilodeau, his special friend. He has sanctioned outside the relationship fucking to the point where she gets placement in the obituary.
She makes it.
She made print, bro.
She gets a credit, for Christ's sake.
This till his fucking dying day, he kept one in reserve.
Unreal. In his 70s.
His
Still
fucking
slinging that Northern Vermont dick.
Longtime partner and then a separate person, his special friend, Judy. Harleen and Judy. So,
you two.
Till the fucking end, Gerald Ryan was so Gerald Ryan. Like, till the fucking end, this guy was the most Gerald Ryan a Gerald Ryan could Gerald Ryan. You know what I'm saying?
What a terrible man.
What a fucking asshole this guy is. I swear to God. I could not find what happened to Bonnie. I know she did at least 10 years in prison, and I don't know what she did after that. I found a woman that I thought was her that died, but the date of birth was off. I think that this woman was too young to be Bonnie, so... She was in Vermont, too, and everything, but it was a few years off. So I'm not sure. She might have changed her name and fucking went into hiding to get away from this whole thing. So, or she could have moved somewhere away from this decrepit
North Pole,
the decrepit farmhouse. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a wild fucking story, though, man. That's
unbelievable.
That was in the 70s, too. It's just so culty, Jim Jonesy, Charles Manson-y.
It's crazy that somebody can be a part of that much murder and serve no time for it.
Hardly, just a couple of months here and there. He just probably used that as a refresher.
Never even had anything negative happen to him because of it. Didn't lose a car over it.
Nothing. No. My truck door got taken off. And they said this. The psychiatrist said, well, what kind of person could brainwash somebody or, mold somebody mentally to force them to do that? And he said it would have to be somebody probably older than them for the most part. And people like, Manson and Hitler do that. So they compared him in open court.
Keep a concubine into his 70s.
That's wild. With full knowledge of his fucking, quote, longtime partner, Harleen. Wow. So she had to know getting into this that, boy, his dick wanders. And I don't know. So if your dick wanders or any other thing you want to tell us about, if you like the show, wandering cock now. If your wandering wang heads on over this way. If you like the show, tell the world about it. Get on everywhere. Apple Podcasts, whatever app you're listening on. Most 99% of them have a rating thing. Rate and review. Give us 5 stars. It helps drive us up the charts. So please do that. It really does help a lot. You could be a good pal there and do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com today and get your tickets for the live shows coming up. We can't wait. Cleveland is February 10th, kicking it off. Still some tickets left for that. Not many. Get those in there.
Hurry. Yeah.
St. Louis is sold out, I think. I think they're done. And Portland and Seattle were sold out, so we added another show to both of those.
You bet.
That was kind of a planned thing, so other cities we're not adding any other second shows. This was already kind of a planned thing. So Thursday night show, it always is up there in the Northwest. They're a fucking awesome crowd up there. So Thursday night show in Seattle, second Saturday show in Portland, second show that night, late show. Come get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, you can follow us on social media at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. You certainly want to get on our Patreon, without a doubt. Patreon.com/crime and sports. You get all of the bonus materials. We have a whole back catalog. It's like 150 episodes, tons of shit to binge. And then every other week you get 2 new ones, 1 crime and sports, 1 small town murder, and you get it all for the low, low price of $5 a month or above. So get on in there. This week, what we have for you episode-wise for crime and sports, we're going to talk about how the fuck is fantasy sports so popular?
Yeah. How to make a TV show.
How to make a TV, several hundred TV. There's like 1,000 podcasts about it. Right. Look at the top 100 sports podcasts. 86 of them are about fantasy sports.
It's ridiculous.
How is it that has taken over people's time? Their fucking marriages have fallen apart, all of this shit. Also, they can fucking have bragging rights over Ted and marketing for the rest of the season. That's all that is. Guy at work, so you can go, ha ha, my team beat Ted's Tumblers, kicked your ass, buddy. We'll find that out. For Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about something very interesting. Kai, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker.
Yes.
Who I didn't realize even the documentary was coming out about him before it came out. So he was just on the list, and there he is. So we'll talk all about him. That's a wild story, just as crazy as it sounds, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker. Check it out there. Guy did a crazy interview on the news that you can, or we'll play it and react to it. It's fucking wild. So check all that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And, of course, you will get a shout-out. And I'm trying to think about it. When does that shout-out happen, Jimmy?
I got time for it.
Right fucking now. Hit me with him, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Matt Britt, Michelle Miller, Dean Kerr, Patrice Wiktorescu, Wiktorescu, Ben Sullivan, and happy birthday, Jordan Bennett.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
It's a big day.
Hey, happy birthday. One of our faves.
You're not special.
One of our faves. Yeah, have your birthday. You and Simon have a nice day, and that's it.
Yeah.
The next day didn't happen anymore. It's done. It's over.
Other producers this week are Peyton Meadows, Darcy Stander, Paul Egan, Teddy Hart, Teddy Hart's Calico Butthole Foundation.
Oh, boy.
Frank Burchap, champion of the fantasy football, the Crime and Sports Small Town Murder Fantasy Football League.
See?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let's find out about what makes you this way.
Ty Adkins made a showing in it also. $17
job,
and a Casio. Happy hour at home in Marrero, Louisiana. Cynthia, Jean Willard, Catherine Collado, Janice Hill. Happy birthday, Jennifer Stevens. Sarah Surridge is waiting on Paul Gascione.
Gascoigne.
Yeah.
You know.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Lucy Cuniff, happy birthday. Sue Heil, Torres, Shitstains
Sue.
Family Foundation for Higher Learning, James. Other
very
producers
nice.
also, Paul Johnson, Jackie with no last name, Carrie Ireland, Meg with no last name, Tim Beguret, Katie Ruddick, Matt
exotic.
DeLuke. Nope, LeDuc. That's what it is. Cindy Bianchi.
Beautiful.
I wish I was better at this. Nick
boring,
Kruger,
man.
Sarah Smith, Nick Clark, Dustin Gray, Nicole with no last name, Quentin Casper, Gilly with no last name, Levi Wilson, Douglas Rydell, Emma Borelli, Lauren Veroff, I think, Bryce with no last name, Mary Meeker, Shauna Myers. Nope, that's just Sean. Sorry, Sean.
You just don't do too well. You just want to keep expectations low. That's all. You keep them low, you get celebrated for pronouncing fucking Rachel correctly, and it's fucking. So just keep doing that. It's good.
Kevin
it's good.
Wetclow, Angela Collier, I think, Roy, John Glancy, Sally West, Eileen Hoffman, Opathy one, Jessica P, Sarah Kinsler, Samantha Alesey, Joshua Braun, Lee C, Naomi McKnight, Daniel with no last name, Dolph Lundgren, probably not, but I
I'm
would
sure
hope so.
it is.
Telly McKay, Alyssa C, Taylor Church,
fan.
Spencer Peterson, huge Crime and Sports fan, that guy. He loves it. He can't get enough. Charlie, Castany, Mel with no last name, Aspen Anders, Nanette Roberts, Daniela with no last name, Katie Martin, Chris with no last name, Jim Barbado, Nicole with no last name, Caitlin Froese, Kylie Rowan, Aaron Kennedy, Olivia Pracher, I think, Pracker, Joanna Tiefenthaler.
Yeah.
Tiefenthaler, Haley Moog, I think, Maug maybe, Zach Barlow, Sue Clark, Renee Welch, Heather with no last name, Michelle Craig, Andy Womack, Vanessa Kavanaugh, Savannah Pearson.
Nice and low, Jimmy. Nice and low. Good job. You got to boot a grounder once in a while, so when you make a play in the hole, everybody notices. You know what I mean?
Vanessa.
Yeah. There you go.
Don, even Jimmy can pronounce this more. Rainbow, ASMR. Samantha Weiler, Dylan Hatcher, Joe Mama, Andy Smith, Colin Sebastian, Asia Redgrave, Corin, maybe Corrine. I don't know. Stephenson, maybe.
Corinne?
Who knows? Janet Walsdorf, Ryshawn Ralston Roach, Camden Whitney, Sean Young, probably not that one. Nick Smith, Riley Foster,
wearing a bat
Earl,
suit in the studio.
Earl Stevens, Amber Miller, Neville, maybe D. Kunha. Cassandra Nolan, Spencer with no last name, Wade McLeod, Andrew Bertram, John Hope, maybe Gene, Break the Mold, Shanika Morgan, Lisa Cox, Michael Velez, Rita with no last name, Chickadee Hill Cakes, Carrie with no last name, Christy Maverick, Teresa Blau, maybe Blow, Tiffany Tate, Paula Jordan, Colin Alexander, and Asti Bearcat, I think. There's no fucking way I'm pronouncing Butch
Bearcat?
Dick Man. Dickman, maybe. Lori Jenkins. Jay Jubert, Dylan Hauer, Nelson Cologne, Stephanie Thompson, Jackie Whitaker, Jamie Tibbin Betts, Nokomis, McGinnis. Nokomis. Nakamomis. Vavi Arson, Samantha Plunkett, Jen Smith, Chelsea Mellick, Justin Mehicobi, Reagan Fish, Anthony Alvarez Page with no last name, Robert Heiner, Callie with no last name, Mariella Sanchez, Cody Kenner, Paige Kunkles, Rice Schwitters, Rachel with no last name, Jorge Antonopoulos. What? How did I do that?
Not
Joyce,
bad. You
Joyce
mixed up.
Erickson.
You mixed up Spanish and Greek flawlessly, like a fusion
It was
restaurant that's
beautiful.
got in their game. That was a good job.
Ruth DeFries, I think, Defries, John Burgoon, Kime Goit, what? C-Y-M-E, Kime? Chime. Chillamy. Daniel Daniel Antonabeto. I can't do it.
No, he can't. It's a lot. He sputters out after the third vowel. He's like, I don't know what's in there
Anto
anymore.
Benedetto.
There you
Bingo.
go.
Philip Johnson, Jenny Lyons, Stacy Gathers, Stephanie Russell, Elora guy, Jennifer DeMarco, Ala Medusa, Akaya Hardiman, Akia. It's Akia. What are we doing? Thomas Martin, Ivan Castillo, Daryl 6283, Nikki Kane, Pickles, no last name, Ian Holt, I think. See you in Portland, Ian. Bethany Hammonds, I think that's Ian. Ashley Martin, Rob Sanford, Allison S., Meredith Fisher, Abby with no last name, Robert Hogue, Liam Spurrell maybe, Lori with no last name, Samantha Sargent, Dylan
Yeah.
Larson, Kevin Sullivan,
Dylan.
Galina Gavilchik, Lily with no last name, Ian Furman, Jeff S., Lindsay Gillum, Jonathan Goldsmith, Danine, Sean Madden, Emily with no last name, Amanda Marble, Kaylin, Sinclair, Taylor Thomason, Jessica Defrost, Abby Shadoff, Jeremy Parsono, John Hennessy, Becca Moore, Paul Sally maybe, Kendall Martinez, Samuel Andrew Lowe, Liz Dunn, Coel, C-O-E-L, Coel, cool. Jen C, cool. Liz Sanders, Malcolm Dial, Jessica with no last name, Mackenzie Brockman, Vivian Vaca, Landon Doherty, Alexandra Shea, Robert Bowden, Cindy with no last name, Natalie Sue, Stephen with no last name, Zach Stewart, Alex McCombs, Sherry Bourne, and all of our patrons. You're fantastic.
Thank you so much, everybody. You fucking people are awesome. We appreciate the shit out of what you do for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And make sure to look out for the new show, too, Your Stupid Opinions, where it's reviews and we really get into some funny stuff. It's going to be so much fun. That's one of those, if you heard the Patreon, both of us literally had to take a break because we hurt afterwards from laughing so much. So
much
it's
fun.
Going to be such a great show. Check it out. Look for Your Stupid Opinions. The social medias are up right now. You could follow them. We're working on logos and all that stuff at the moment. It's coming together, so do all of that. Follow us on social media. You can get those. The links are there at shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to everything, individual, social media, all that shit. Come spend time with us. Come hang out with us. Come to a live show. Listen on Fridays to Express. Monday nights, actually, to Crime and Sports. Do it all. Keep coming back. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye, Arlene.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.